Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. Let's see. Fix my lighting. Fix my lighting. Ooh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Angel. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to Conversations on our new night. I am on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Conversations with Angel. Hi, Mo. Hi, Tequil. How are you all? Hello, Donovan. How are you, love? Welcome to Conversations with Angel. Tonight, we are talking about child support. Yes, I am. I am bringing it all in. I want us to have an informed conversation about a topic that I know can be somewhat contentious. Hello, Terrell. How's the West Coast? How are you? And that new baby. Um, so, tonight's topic, and I want you all to have an open mind. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hi, War King. What does plump mean? I don't I don't know what that means. But tap your screens, everybody. Tap your screens. Let's get everybody in. I want this conversation to be very interactive. I'm going to start with a couple of things, a couple statistics, and share with you some. But I really, really want. Hi, Trey. Before you get started, may I ask your relationship status? Hi, user. I am single. I am single. So tonight on Conversations with Angel, our new night, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight we're going to talk about child support. And I want to share a little bit of my experience with you, and I want to share some statistics. And then I want you to come in the box. I want you to ask questions. The question box is open. As soon as some moderators, I see one moderator, John, is in. Hi, Coco. Please, moderators, encourage everyone to use the question box and to tap the screen, because I want as many people to be a part of this conversation tonight. Also, if you want to come in the box and talk, we can debate this topic. I've got a special guest that's coming to join me tonight. Miss Ashley is joining me tonight, and we're going to talk about child support. So there's a couple things that I wanted to bring into this conversation because I believe, and this not just based on my experience, but I believe that there are a lot of myths to the topic of child support. There are a lot of misconceptions, but I think that we all can agree that the child support system is broken. I think that we absolutely all can agree. So there's a couple issues that I have. Angel, hi Elena. There's a couple issues that I have with the child support system. One, the biases and unfair payment structures. So I'm a statistical person. Y'all know I'm an accountant, I'm a numbers person, and I like to talk facts. The child support system was originally a bipartisan policy. It was only designed to serve divorced parents who were steadily employed so that there was fair equity of resources for the child. But that system was established 40 years ago. And that system was designed based on a mom being at home and a dad out working. Well, we all know it's 2022, and that is not what the family structure is now. The family structure now is both parents are working. Sometimes both parents are working 2 and 3 jobs. But that system that was designed 40 years ago, with dads being the sole breadwinner, is still the same system today. The traditional roles of mothers and fathers are definitely different. So a 1970 ideology we're still stuck in, and it doesn't work based on the structure that we have in place right now. So that's the first thing. The second is there's an unfair scale to fathers. Yes, I said it. It is grossly unfair because we all know the majority of the non-custodial parents are the dads. Hi, Duet King. Thank you, Kalisha. So listen to this statistic. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, the average child support represented 52% of the average income of custodial parents are below the poverty line. That means 52% of families that receive child support are living below the poverty line. And 16% of those are the custodial parents. That's a small percentage, guys. 16% of that 52% are the actual custodial parents. So that means that there are parents that have full custody of their children that are living above the poverty line. So should there be a blanket formula for parents? Absolutely not. Therein lies an inequity in and of itself. So it becomes a slippery slope for a lot of dads. And yes, you're going to hear me talk a lot about dads because of what I stated. The vast majority of non-custodial parents are fathers. Research has shown that men with outstanding child support debt tends to be less involved with their children because they want to. Absolutely not. Many of those fathers want to be very much involved in the life of their children, but unfortunately, they are not able to. And a lot of that has to do with the system penalizing them for not making payments on time. They may be in prison. They may be in jail because of a missed payment. Or the custodial parent, in many instances, the mom, just simply won't allow the dad to be in the life of the child because she doesn't feel the support is frequent enough or is enough. Okay? Since many states, can I say many states treat incarceration as a voluntary unemployment? Does that make any sense? So I'm incarcerated, so I'm I'm unemployed because I'm incarcerated. So how is that helping the child? So I pay child support, I miss a payment, I'm locked up, I go to jail, but if I'm in jail, I can't pay the child support. It's easy to see while this system is broken and the cycle continues to be broken. Point number 3, the myth about deadbeat dads. Y'all, just because a father is not the custodial parent and not in the life of the child doesn't automatically make him deadbeat. And is deadbeat determined just based on finances? But if we're focusing primarily on finances, but the father is in the child's life or trying to be in the child's life, we're still labeling that dad as a deadbeat? That makes no sense. Even when pregnancies are unplanned, I don't know, I'm getting ready to age myself. Y'all know I'm 50, and I remember watching Oprah when she had the Oprah Winfrey Show at 4 o'clock. And I remember she had a show in the 80s about a man who was very upset with his ex-girlfriend because she had a baby. Now, he said that when they were dating, he said he never wanted to have children. He told her he didn't want to have children. And an accident happened and she got pregnant. He told her he wanted her to terminate the pregnancy. She chose not to. He broke up with her and said, I absolutely want to have nothing to do with the child. Now, he does pay ordered child support. He wants to have nothing to do with the child. Now, how do you put a person like that in the same category, in the same box, as someone who doesn't have the financial means, who wants to be in the life of their child? How do you put them in the same box? That, to me, is a deadbeat dad. Yes, he's paying financially, but he made a decision he didn't want to be in the life of the child. So where are we putting our stock? Is it really about support for the child or the well-being of the child? Okay. Recent research suggests that economic support, although is very, very necessary, it's hardly enough to qualify as a good parent, because we all know that there are some custodial parents that absolutely do not deserve or need to be in the life of a child. We know people like that. Okay. Fourth point. The current system that we have now, child support, is fixated on enforcement and totally ignores involvement. You heard me. Our current system, the child support system, is absolutely on the mark. We collect globally child support. In 2021, the Federal Parent Locator Service collected $32.7 billion. $32.7 billion in child support. Now, is there any data that shows what percentage of children was supported emotionally, mentally, and psychologically by two parents? I'd be hard pressed to find that. So why are we focusing just or being fixated just on the financial support and not on the involvement? And then is that support one-sided? How many people, and I'm going to say people, custodial parents, whether it's the mom or the dad, has the child, and there's an assessment that's given on what the finances are spent on? Is there a report that's filled out that says, I used this $700 to buy XXXXX? No. So if there's two people that make the child, a mom and a dad, then why are both people not responsible for taking care of the child? And why is it not proven? So let's say that the non-custodial parent is giving financial support for the child and the child is neglected. Every time the non-custodial parent sees the child, their clothes are dirty, they have old clothes, their hair isn't kept, the son doesn't ever get to go to the barber shop. Because who's checking? Who's checking? Now, before you all get on me, I am a custodial parent. Although my daughter's 21, I don't receive child support. When my ex and I broke up, my daughter was 3 months old. I didn't want anything from him but her. And then I said, okay, I just want you to fund her daycare. Just give me enough money to fund her daycare. And at the time, that equated to approximately $700 a month. She was an infant. When we went through our divorce, we both agreed this is what it was going to be. He was not consistent, guys. Sometimes he would pay, sometimes he wouldn't. And so I had to use the child support system. And I begged him, all I want I'll take care of her diapers. I'll take care of her clothes. All I want is for you to fund her daycare. We had to go through the court system. And eventually, his court-ordered child support was $1,287 a month. So sometimes, guys, you got to take the deal. He should have taken the deal. But the flip side to that, for me, I felt like because there was a tremendous distance, he was 800 miles away from our daughter, I really wanted both of us to be in her life. And I never ever kept him from her. And when he wanted to see her, he would fly down, get a hotel room to visit with her for long periods of time. Not once in the 18 years that he paid child support did I ever go and ask for more money. Never. Because I felt like him flying her, and many times first class, from where we lived to see him through the summer for months at a time. Yes, he got promotions. He got a really, really, really high earning job throughout those years. And I could have taken him back to get more support. But why? Because he was doing above and beyond. And I wasn't able to stop it. But then there are some parents that exploit that. And I was ridiculed and said, why aren't you taking? He's got this position. He's doing this now. He's making a lot more money than what he was making when the order was first done. But then I was like, but he's flying our daughter to see him. He's paying for the airline tickets. He gets her whatever she wants at Christmas. He sends money above and beyond the court-ordered child support that comes out of his check. Why then would I go back and ask for more? She was taken care of. And there was a period of time in which there was a hiccup in his earnings. But our daughter was taken care of. Now that's how I did it. And that's what worked for me. And still to this day, we co-parent. Our daughter is 21 years old. She is a college student. And she will graduate from college debt-free because her father, even though the child support stopped at the age of 18 for her, he continues to pay her college tuition. So why would I exploit that and ask for more? I'm just saying, that's how I did it. 5, child support is wrong for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is that the system forces one parent, only one parent, to be financially responsible for the child based on how much money they make. Well, what if the custodial parent makes more money than the non-custodial parent? But the way the system is designed, it's still the greater percentage is put on and the checks and balances put on the non-custodial parent. How is that even fair? I want you all to talk to me. Ask questions, come in the dialogue box. Tell me, Angel, I agree. Angel, I disagree. So, regrettably, the parent with full custody of the child and who supposedly spends the most time with the child is less likely to be held legally, financially responsible for the kid. Keep in mind that there is no consideration to child support payments when parental alienation prevents the non-custodial parent from spending time with their child. So, Angel, what are you talking about? So that means that I have seen a lot of non-custodial parents literally having to fight to see their child. And they're paying child support because the system doesn't try to say, oh, well, he's paying or she's paying, so they have to be in the life of the child. And y'all, most of the time it's women. Most of the time it's women. They're getting child support every single week, every 2 weeks, or how often it is, and she can decide, you know what? I don't want you to see her because you got a girlfriend, and I don't like her, and I don't want and I don't want you bringing our kid around that hoe. Now the man is still paying child support. And he can go to the court and say, hey, I'm paying and I want to see my kid. And the delays and the enforcement behind that, y'all, that's dead wrong. Y'all know that's wrong. Dead wrong. Who's in the box? Come on in. That's my girl, Ashley, Ashley, Ashley.
Hold on, let me get myself together. Hold on 1 second.
So I was just talking about, Ashley, some of the things I don't like about the child support system. You and I are totally on the same page when it comes to that. And the scenario I just gave, non-custodial parent is the father, which, let's face it, is the majority. Now, there are a lot. I know several men on this app who are custodial parents. Okay.
Right.
But the majority are the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So the dad is paying child support like clockwork. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The dad starts dating me. You're the mom. Okay. Dad starts dating me. You get an attitude because dad's dating me. And you like, well, if Angel gonna be over there, you can't see little Ray Ray. So what do the courts do about that?
I'm so happy to be a part of this conversation. First of all, I'm so happy to be a part of this conversation.
My girl sipping her tea.
Listen. So, first of all, for all the men who are active in their children's lives, thank you. I am so tired of women saying, but that's what they're supposed to do. We agree. They are supposed to be active dads. But the narrative that the world is spreading is that Black men are not active fathers. Right. And that is so, like you just said, that is the furthest thing from the truth. Absolutely. However, when it comes to child support, and I have so much I want to share, but I will answer your question directly. The child support system was never set up to benefit the family. The child support system was set up and to benefit the mother. They say it's supposed to benefit the child, but like you just said, if the child is normally in the primary custodial custody of the mother, it benefits the mother. Now, I am 100% on board with a man paying child support if he does not give time.
Right. If he does not give time. Right.
If he does not actively spend time with his child, if he's not there supporting the mother physically and emotionally to raise this child, if you're not going to give time, you're going to have to cut a check. That's what I tell men all the time. You cannot escape both. That's not fair. Right. However, in the scenario you just gave,
it's so common.
That is the hurtful, jaded, bitter baby mama. You're upset that y'all are no longer together, and now you are mad that he's moved on. And in most cases, when I see stuff like that happen, she's single and alone. So I don't want you having a better life than I have. But here's how grown women look at it. Angel, girl, it is so nice to meet you. Oh, she's pretty. Oh, she's pretty. I heard so much from you. The kids love you. Girl, I'm so glad he got a good woman in his life because, we keep them balanced. As a matter of fact, I ain't even got to talk to him no more. Are you okay if me and you communicate?
Right.
That's it. What are we fighting for? You're an extra set of hands. You are a benefit to my child.
And if she's good to your child, here's the part that I can't wrap my mind around. You're getting child support from the dad. The girlfriend, the wife is good to your child. My daughter's bonus mom, I love her. She's good to my daughter. She loves my daughter. She's her daughter. My daughter's blessed to have a bonus mom and me. I couldn't ask for a better wife for my ex-husband. She
Mm-hmm.
loves our daughter. I would
Mm.
never keep him away from her because he's moved on with his life. Give me a break.
Crazy. It's crazy. And if I didn't want you, or we didn't want each other married, if we didn't want each other when we were married, why do I care what you do after we're divorced or after we're broken up? That screams you still want that man. That screams if the man is doing the same thing and making motherhood hard for the mother, that screams you still want me. And you're acting out. I think it is the silliest thing ever. Whoever wants to be a positive influence in my children's lives, come on, baby. What do you need from me? That's
Right.
it. And if the father is paying child support and he is doing his level best, I'm happy. What's the problem?
Denise, so Denise in the comments says, I love this. She says, wait a minute, its comments are going so fast. I lost it that quick. Oh gosh, where did she go? She made a good point and I want to read it. She says, hey, ladies, and also mature adults, understand children deserve as much love as possible. So if the non-custodial parent has moved on and has a partner who is good to the child, who helps with the child, why would you be mad? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to support, ladies and gentlemen, whoever the custodial parent is, you also are responsible for support of the child. That money is not for you to get your nails done, your hair done, and your kid is walking around looking like who did it, what, why, and how. That is the most
they don't want that conversation, Angel.
Thing. They don't want to hear that. But guess what? I said in my promo video, I am asking for all the smoke. I see you out. Your hair is done. Your nails are done. Your outfit is put together. You got Dooney and Burke or Prada, or you wearing your Louboutins, and your baby's shoes are too small, clothes dirty, hair not done, looking crazy. You barely picking them up from after school, barely taking them to after school, and then you're gonna call because the lights get ready to get turned off. No, baby.
Oh, let me stop sipping tea because you was all over some toes, and I they're not ready for that conversation. They're not. But I would definitely like to add this. So here's my stance on child support.
Keep talking. I'm gonna get my charger. Keep talking.
The moment that absolutely. Hey guys, I'm gonna keep y'all busy till Angel come back. The moment that two consenting adults decide we want to create a life, that means both of those consenting adults are agreeing to be responsible for the life that they create. Period. If there is nothing wrong with the mother and there is nothing wrong with the father, I mean physically, everybody can work. Everybody needs to get up and go to work. Everybody, the mom and the dad. Here is the exception for me in my book. Your body goes through a tremendous amount of trauma carrying a baby and delivering a baby. Labor, me and y'all will never understand what a woman body go through to get your child here. You will never understand. Stop trying to fully understand it. Just support her and understand she literally put her life on the line to get that baby here. Now, once that child is here, you need to support that lady as she heals. That's the reason why so many people are advocates for being married before you get pregnant. Having a full understanding. If y'all are not married, to each his own, But everybody needs to have an understanding that in order to make sure that that infant, that newborn, is nurtured to the best of the ability, that mother needs to be able to heal so she can literally give life to this child. I do not think any woman that has given birth should be forced to go back to work 4 weeks after having a baby, 6 weeks after having a baby. That's a lot. Now I know everybody's financial circumstances are different. However, these are conversations that need to be had during the 9 months of conception, so y'all can still start getting a budget together, figuring out who's gonna pay what. So I don't think women should work immediately after birth, but that's going to look different for everybody. I understand financial situations are different. However, once she is healed, once your newborn child, your infant, is doing well, have gotten their first immunizations, y'all decide if y'all going to go to daycare or if big mama going to watch the baby, whatever. Once everybody is back capable for working, everybody needs to go to work. Everybody needs to go to work. I do not believe that if you are not married, you're not in a relationship, it's just two single people living in separate households, raising a child together. I do not think that a man should be 100% responsible when that woman can work. Go to work. Hello?
Leonard,
Because it's more
Leonard.
than just avoiding.
How you doing, Ashley? Pleasure
Hi,
to meet
Leonard.
you.
Nice to meet you as well. If I can finish my thought,
I agree.
happy to
No,
pass
please do, because I totally agree. But please finish your
Thank
thought.
you. So once that mother is healed from birth, once your child has been nurtured to a healthy place to where he or she can go out of the house, she need to go back to work. You need to go back to work. Y'all don't live together anyway. Y'all look, because that's why child support is ordered. That's the only reason I think any woman should not be working, is because you just had the baby or there's a medical issue or something like that. But ma'am, if that baby is school age, why you ain't working? What you do all day? And you're
Can I
single.
expound on that? Can I expound on that, please?
Absolutely,
Yes,
Leonard. Go ahead.
absolutely, Leonard.
I took
And everybody,
hey,
tap the screen, follow my amazing panelists. Both of them have wonderful platforms, so please follow them. Go ahead, Leonard.
so Ashley, I agree 100%.
Awesome.
There's so many different sides to this. So let me say this is that okay, so when I was younger, I was married. I was married for a long time. But I think that women really needs at least 6 months. At least
I agree with that.
6 months after birth to get themselves together.
I agree.
Not just
If it's the
physically,
first
but
one, oh
emotionally.
my Lord Jesus, you need about 4-5 years. But I'm just saying, y'all are black women and you are women and y'all gonna persevere and you're gonna make it work because that's in your nature.
Sure.
But and I say that because on several reasons, and even if you've had, because I was married and I had 3 kids with the same woman. And obviously, as the second one that comes, okay, well, I'm kind of used to this. After 3, we got this. Right.
Right.
But it was also a different era. This is the 80s and 90s, right? And so we were raised differently.
Right.
We were raised that if you're old enough as a man, if you're old enough to have kids, then you're old enough to take care of them.
Hello? You ain't got to look off, Leonard.
Then I get a moment of silence. If you're old enough to have them,
right. Well, and the thing about it is,
won't no dipping out, won't no child support, nigga. I got uncles. Right. Her uncle's finna come for me. I can't.
But there's so many single parents because the conversation that Ashley was talking about in terms of the what ifs and what do we do, once you start having sex with someone, you need to look at it. Okay, is this someone that I can spend the rest of my life with? Because a consequence of this action is we're going to have a child. And what does that look like? And if we're not married, then what's the responsibility going to
What's the
be?
responsibility? Yeah, no, I totally right.
Exactly.
I think
Then a lot of that too, Leonard, and just to piggyback on what you were saying, as far as how long a woman should stay home. I had postpartum depression. I was physically unable to work for 12 months. I literally was on disability. I could not work because I had severe postpartum depression. I thank God that I had my
right.
parents with me. I had from a distance the support of my daughter's father. We were
You
going
had a
through
support
a
system though.
divorce.
You had a
We were
support system
married.
at the end of the day. You had that system.
Right. Let me be clear. We were married, and we were married before, like years before I got pregnant with her. But you all know my story. You know the history. You know what happened. So I was literally trying to heal mentally and physically from having a baby, a very traumatic birth in which I was in a coma. Did not see my daughter until the next day because I lost consciousness due to preeclampsia, all kinds of complications from her, and then dealing
Right.
with the mommy blues that turned into postpartum. So I needed that year. Well, the reason why I had that year was because I stayed at home with my parents while going through this tumultuous divorce.
Period. Right.
I'm lucky. But there are a lot of moms out there that literally go from the delivery room back to work. And there are
Yeah.
some dads who literally.
First of all, you're a Gen Xer though. You're a Gen Xer.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Who's a Gen X?
Me.
Suck that shit up. All right, I'm gonna say. I'm just going to ahead and put that out there.
But there are some
I love you.
dads. I've talked to a lot of dads on this app who have been left with children. Like literally, the mom made a decision and said goodbye.
I can't do this. Yeah.
And a lot of those dads didn't go after the mother for child support.
Black men are beat down. That's a whole nother live. We just like, just like, because even when you mention, like, so when we're talking about this, so like, okay, you kind of know my situation. I was married. First one, I wasn't married, but it was on the way. So it was 1986. So I married her because her parents and my parents weren't having it. And plus, I had a sense of responsibility. And I needed that sense of responsibility because I was on some straight fuckery from 1970. I promise you. So,
oh my gosh, Leonard.
The thing is, I needed that sense of responsibility. But what I'm saying is that moving forward is that, that sense of responsibility was what I needed in my life because other than that, I could have been a statistic. I'm an African-American male. And I, my story and the book is coming out and all that shit, but I did some gangster shit. But in order to provide for my family, that's what I did. You know what I mean? I went to Hampton. You already know. I know better. I just ain't do better. And so, but as a man, there's a sense of responsibility that was instilled to me because I still had positive male role models. So I knew better. I just didn't do better. You feel me? So when she got pregnant, I married her. And then 18 months later, there's another one. And then 2 years later, I had to have a girl, and I got two little niggas on the way, or here. I need to have a girl. So, baby, if we're going to do this, let's go ahead and get it out the way. But the sense of responsibility in that time period was different.
Yeah.
We're not talking about child support. I mean, bruh, handle your business. I don't even want it if it's that easy. So we didn't have these baby mama issues that, we talk about today. So we can't compare, like even what you went through, it's not the same thing. Because as a whole, men and black men had a sense of responsibility. Even whether we did right or not, it's just, no, we did right because these little kids didn't ask to come here.
Right.
Now there's a sense of entitlement. My kids are spoiled as fuck. And I spoil them.
My baby is too.
You know what I mean?
We have one.
But, right. But I don't have any grandkids. I don't have none of my kids, they grew up in a two-parent household. And so they emulate what they saw.
Right.
There was a couple of scares though. I got two boys, so there was a couple of scares, but
So
but at the
Ashley,
end of the day,
I'm sorry, Leonard. Go ahead.
I'm saying at the end of the day, we're just dealing with different times. And because I think not, people now are entitled, and that goes for our kids as well. And so we don't feel that we don't address that sense of responsibility in the same way we did back in the day. And I'm always going to preach on back in the day because that's where I'm from. But
Me
I think
too.
that's the
I'm not
problem.
that much younger than you.
I
How
know,
old are
I know.
you?
I try to put I'm 57.
Okay, well, I'm 50, so I'm not that much younger
Okay.
than you.
You were in middle school when I was in high school, but it's all good. At this age, it don't matter. I get it.
Ashley
Baby
wasn't born.
group. I'm 35, but
So
She's a
Ashley,
baby. Okay.
Ashley had this is when I absolutely fell in love with Ashley. Ashley is big time now, Leonard. So when I first saw Ashley, she
no,
had maybe
no, I am not.
9,000 followers. Okay. When I first met Ashley, which was like yesterday. Okay.
Okay.
And she had a post that absolutely just blew my mind. And so, Ashley, I would love for you to reenact the post about the situation with the father and child support so that people can fully understand. And ladies, I know that some of you all you're dealing with some straight busters that are not
Some
doing what
raggedy
they're
niggas.
supposed to do.
Oh my
Raggedy. And guys, I know that some of you are taking care of your children. You are the custodial parent. But what we're talking about tonight as well is the majority. And this situation that Ashley is about to describe made me vomit, literally. So, Ashley.
God.
Absolutely. So, if we're honest, a lot of people who today, not every situation, but majority, like you said, there are a lot of single people having children. We are
Right.
boyfriend, girlfriend. We decided that oops, or hey, I want a baby, and they don't fully prepare. Like you really can never be 100% financially prepared for children because anything can happen. Let's be honest.
Right.
So in
Even if
my
you got
post,
money.
it
Right.
unexpectedly went viral. I would never expected that post to go viral, and it's still trending today. But
Yes.
in my post, I gave the scenario that there are two people together that have had a baby. Something happens, it doesn't work out, but he is an active dad. He's there, he's picking up, he's dropping off, he's paying everything that he can. But in 2022, well, I was really speaking of my situation. My oldest son is 15. I couldn't afford insurance. My son's father couldn't afford insurance. So when I went to apply for TennCare, because I'm in Tennessee, so our government issued insurance is called TennCare. When I went to go apply for TennCare, they said, "Where's the father?" Well, he's here. Well, we need to start child support. Why are we starting child support? So in cases where you need additional assistance, because unless everybody are millionaires, which we're not, when we have kids, when we're 19, 20, 21, 22, you are not making that type of money.
Right.
And I'm tired of people making it sound like fathers don't want to take care of their kids, but they're in their early 20s. Or even if you're in your 30s and you haven't gotten your life together yet, if the kids are here, y'all got to figure out how to do it. So when moms
Exactly.
are put in a position to where somebody's got to put some insurance on this baby.
Right.
In the state of Tennessee, if you go and even apply for insurance, they want that father on child support. It doesn't matter how much he's paying. It doesn't matter how much he's helping you. They want him in that system because they want to be able to get reimbursed for the state provided.
Right. And rightfully so, though. And you see, I'm not a Republican, and rightfully so. But see, let's reverse. I totally empathize and overstand. But listen, when we talk about old school, right? And, there's a sense of responsibility to where you should never have to be put on child support. Does that make sense? Am I saying some like fantasy shit?
Yeah,
not to.
but
But I would
Leonard,
love a
when you
second to finish
hear
my
the
thought.
whole scenario, it changed. I hear what you're saying, and I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I did not understand the brevity of the situation until Ashley broke it all the way down. So you got a parent, you got two parents that
Right.
need to insure the child. Period.
Right.
That's the motivation. The father is doing his
right.
part.
It's no longer about the parents, actually, if you got
Right.
a child.
It's solely about the child. So go ahead, Ashley. So you went to apply for the insurance so that your baby could go to the doctor if the child gets sick, and then what happens?
That's all I'm. Yes. So, and then people, I just want to add this caveat. When you start a job, they don't start your insurance immediately.
Right.
They don't. In most cases,
You got 90 days.
Right.
It's 90 days. So what if my child gets sick in those 90 days? So we should just skip over all the hypotheticals. It don't matter why they needed insurance. These children need insurance. And these two active, responsible parents are trying to do what's best to get their child some insurance. So when a mom goes down to the Department of Human Services and applies for just insurance, they will request that the father be on child support. Now, you are sometimes denied health insurance because you will not cooperate with child support.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
And that's, but
Wait.
totally fucked up. It's totally fucked up. There's more?
Yes.
More. So before I put my child's father on child support for this insurance, I'm going to call him. Ring, ring. Hey, listen, this is the situation. We need insurance. They are making me feel that, because keep in mind, I'm 18, 19, 20, 21. I don't know. I don't understand that this system is set up for my son's father to fail. I don't know. I'm 19 years old. So I'm doing what I think is best. I go ahead. My son's father says, look, I can't give insurance right now. I don't have it. We don't have it. Do what you need to do to make sure our baby can go to the doctor. I put him on child support thinking that we're just going to get this insurance. He's been paying anyway, so it's not an issue for him. But what happens next is, let's say his hours get cut back at work. Let's say these are people who lived in COVID times.
He's living in life.
COVID
this is life.
Job. Everybody had that happen just a couple of years.
Life matters.
Right.
Ain't nobody above life.
Modification for child support. There is no modification for child support decrease unless the change is longer than like 90 days. That was back in my day. It may be different now, but unless the change in your income is longer than 90 days, they don't care. If you are supposed to be paying $500, now your hours have gotten decreased. We can't help you until it's been 90 days. That means he's getting further and further behind because he simply does not have. Now, before any man says it, well, he gonna have to do what he got to do to provide for his child. If he starts selling drugs and go to jail, you're gonna be mad because he went to jail. If he does not pay anything, you're gonna be mad because he ain't paid anything. So this man is doing whatever he needs to do, but the courts don't care that it's a temporary setback. He gets behind on his child support. In the state of Tennessee, when you are more than $1,000 behind in child support, they take your driver's license.
I was getting ready to say, and so that's the whole system is oppressive. So I get it. I mean,
but
it's like for the same reason.
Yet. It gets worse.
I'm not.
There's more.
I'm still not. So after your child support is so far behind, they take your driver's license, and we already know how Black men are profiled. So you already know when you get pulled over driving on no license, a lot of Black men don't want to stop because they know they don't have.
Right.
What happens with that? Then if this man is already in a financial hardship, he goes to court trying to do what's right. But what do they hit him with? No license, no insurance ticket.
So now you got more fines and you got probation to pay off the fine. So
Okay, this man goes back to work. He's trying to get caught up, but he can't. And I'm not making excuses for men. Like, please understand, Men need to handle their
First of all,
business.
we
Women
are
need
black
to
men.
handle
I go through that. I've been through that for 50 some years. So I get
Right.
it.
right.
Trust me.
We
You
all
know,
need to
that
handle
shit.
our
Y'all
business.
understand?
Right.
Yes.
So in the state of Tennessee, once they take your driver's license, if you continue to get in arrears, they will eventually arrest you. Everybody knows that. But what people don't realize is that in the state of Tennessee, when you get arrested for non-payment of child support, they don't just take you to jail and in there for a couple of weeks to learn your lesson. Oh no, they put you in a work release program. So
Yeah.
while you're at work, while you're in jail, we're going to take you to and from work. But this is what could never understand. Because you are now a felon, because it is over $1,000 or maybe $5,000 at that point, you are charged with felony child support charges. I don't know what the exact term is, but because you are a felon, you can no longer keep your good paying job if you had one. You have
Right.
to go work for a
Yeah.
felony approved
You live
work
in a red state, though. You live in a red state.
Sure,
South
but I'm
Carolina too.
see. So then what I'm gonna do as the Department of Corrections, because you are arrested, I mean you're under my custody, I'm going to take you to the job I want you to work every day. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick you up at the end of your shift and bring you
And
back
tax
to
you. And tax you for getting
and
you the job that I'm going to take you to.
I'm going to charge you for the room and board because you're living in the jail and we're feeding you. And there is a percentage, like an admin fee, that they charge the child support that they're collecting while you're
Right.
working in jail. And then when
Right.
you get out of jail, you're still a felon. So, how
Right.
are these men that are being active dads that are trying their best? How are they supposed to win in that system?
They
They're not.
can't. They can't win.
And
And then we're talking about financial oppression, mobility, because you're affecting the license, which affects your ability to drive to and from, your passport. You can't even travel if you
well,
needed to or want to. And then the credit report.
yeah.
And
Oh,
now
yeah.
And it
employers
never ends
are
because
pulling
I'm a
credit
felon. So
reports.
yeah, I mean, I totally get it. And so I have been a stockbroker and I have been to prison. Okay. So let's just go ahead and, let's go ahead and give you a little bit about my story and why I can empathize with his story. Because mass incarceration, whatever, but we have been, as black men, this is our plight. And this is our plight. So what you're saying, it troubles me and it saddens me. I'm not surprised. That's kind of what's fucked up about this. Because
Matt
I
Boyd
beat a
just
RICO
said,
charge, did some time in the feds, did some time, and that's where God sat me down and said, this is what I need you to do. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not perfect, I'm doing,
You're breaking
it
up,
wasn't
Leonard.
until then I was lost. And I went to Hampton. I was married with kids. You know what I mean? But I was.
I think we lost him. What were you saying?
So Max Boyd just said something. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. What I want, okay, let me slow down. Max Boyd just said that the system was set up to break up the black family. What I want for my community to understand is this. I see a lot of women in the comments saying y'all are making excuses for men. Let me explain something clear and very concise. If you are a father not taking care of your responsibilities, you get what you get. If you do not want to be active, if you do not want to pay for your child, if you don't want to physically support the child, if you don't want to help by providing guidance in his or
You're
her
a little
life,
boy, you shouldn't be having kids. At that point, if all that, we got to talk about, if you got to say all that, Ashley, that nigga don't deserve to be a father. You not ready, dog.
so
Stop fucking. Stop.
Leonard, what I was saying was, if you are a man who does not want to handle your responsibilities, the child support system is for you. That's who the child support is for.
Right.
It is for the men that are being irresponsible with their seed and refusing to help and refusing to raise their children.
Right.
That's who the system is for. The system is not, ladies, for you to get back. The system is not for you to come up. The system is not for you to trap.
Oh.
Now listen, I don't feel sorry for him, but I'm about to say something. Tristan Thompson. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but Tristan Thompson is a basketball player who has a baby with Khloe Kardashian. Tristan Thompson just had a baby with a woman a few months ago. She appealed to the court for $32,000 a month in child support, saying she needs it for her. 32.
And got it, because if you make it $200,000 a month and she asks for that, but hold on now, Ashley. I'm not saying she's right. I'm not saying she's right.
Leonard, stop interrupting.
I'm sorry. You know, like, you know what? That nigga got money and he shouldn't have fucked her. I'm sorry, he shouldn't have fucked her. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
I do not feel sorry for Tristan Thompson because he made his decisions. However, a lot of women, especially when their looks is their main attraction, these men will fall for those looks. They get pregnant. That is their game. She said for 18 years. And unless he is going to become a unemployed bum, you got to pay that money. I don't think child support system, when weaponized like that or taken advantage of, is fair. Yeah, true enough. Before anybody say,
I totally agree.
I get it. But child support is for deadbeat fathers. Child support system is not for
and deadbeat moms.
100.
And deadbeat moms.
100.
Because women should pay support if they're not taking care of their kids.
Right. Too often. And I know a lot of dads that are raising their children, they feel like, you know, as a man, it's my job to protect and to provide. I'm not going to go after guys. If she's not paying child support to you, you owe it to your children to get child support from her. Period. Period.
Did you buy, Leonard?
I'm just confused because no, I didn't say why. I'm just like, why are we even having this conversation? It's like, it's obviously kids having kids, because I just come from a time where if you produce a child, if you and the woman lay down together, and regardless if you liked each other or not, and you produced a child, the man was just had a natural sense of responsibility. So I get it, and I did a nonprofit and all these, you know, baby daddies and all that. I just can't fathom how, you know.
Because
one thing about me and my wife, and we were married for a long time, and it wasn't. Huh?
You're different. Understand, my father is 62. Y'all are in a generation men were handling business. These new men, boys, whatever you want to call them, they're not handling business. And what I know for a fact is the world is making excuses by saying the women should have chose better. Well, sometimes we can't choose better when they're pretending. They look like they're going to be good dads. They were good dads until we got a new boyfriend. Now they don't want to be good dads. But like Angel said earlier.
And not only that, if the hormones are raging, it doesn't fucking matter at that moment.
Well, what are you going to do? How are you going to make them do it?
Right.
How are you going to make them fathers? Am I supposed to drive over to his house every day, knock on the door, say, you going to give me some money today? You going to come see your son today?
If he didn't have positive male role models, none of that matters anyway, because he don't know no better. He just doesn't know any better. He just doesn't. He doesn't have any examples to follow.
But at that point, when does it become about the child? I think people forget. And child support is not just fiduciary.
A crutch. It's a crutch,
child support should be the support of the child mentally, emotionally, financially. And I think this is where we're missing the mark. It's so flawed. It is a type of extortion. It absolutely is. Why are there fees associated with the collection of support for a child? Because it's designed to make money for the states, for the municipalities. And at
Yeah.
what point do we
Definitely.
challenge the status quo and say, hey, when do we get involved in the life of the child? Because I guarantee you, all of us know at least one custodial parent that does not use the support for the child. It's just
Right.
not. And where's
And that's
the
the bottom line.
accountability? Where's
That's
the accountability for the
right.
custodial parent? And I'm a custodial parent, but no one came and knocked on my door and said, hey, are you using that $1,200 some odd dollars to make sure that the kid is eating, to make sure that they have new clothes? Hey, are you doing your part, using your income to make sure? Are you doing? There isn't the accountability for both parents. It took two people to lay down and produce that child. It should be equally the responsibility, but unfortunately, the way the system is set up is designed for the higher wage earner. Well, guess what? What if the higher wage earner is the custodial parent? The other parent still has to pay outside of their means, and that's simply not fair. It's just not fair. It's just not.
And it's just, you know, what else is a shame that you know, you mentioned that, you know, how the whole system. I was locked up. When I was locked up on some real. I had a real case, but I was in the same pod with some cats who was there on child support, and I'm like, bruh, I'm doing time.
Hey,
So you
TD.
doing time for the same? And look, God knows I fucked up. I did all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you know, my shit was some felonies. And you in here on a felony on child support? Ooh, Lord, the system is really fucked up. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to live in this country, to be honest with you, because it has been against black men. This country has been against black men since Christopher Columbus.
But you know what,
Leonard, did you get your record expunged?
It's not just black men.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a. Yeah.
So,
here's the thing. I have.
Did you get your record?
if I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I work with the courts. I mean, I'm gonna, you know, put my nonprofit. I mean, my nonprofit is nationally recognized, and so I've been expunged and haven't been expunged yet, but I've been pardoned. So
the only reason that you would be able to get a passport is if you got that record cleared up. So when you say stuff like, I want to leave this country, what about all the people who can't leave the country?
Right.
No.
Right.
The only thing you need to have your passport. No, you can have felonies. You just can't have no internationally. International.
Leonard,
we'll save that for another conversation.
Okay. I'm gonna enlighten you because I got my passport, and trust me,
Leonard.
But
Leonard,
Didi, get ready to mute you.
Coming from somebody who has had to pay child support and was on the receiving end of child support from the same parent, because I made more money, I had to pay him more for the same two children. Even though I paid more because I made more, I was still, as a parent, responsible for their well-being. I still had to, you know, I was still showing up even though I was out of state because I was active duty military. And I could not physically have my children there because we were doing like different missions and stuff like that. I had to, but when the children came back with me, all he had to pay for two children was $50 a month. Not because I didn't need, I needed that money because as an E4 with small children, not making hardly any money. And although I made more, it wasn't a lot more. And I still needed. So, and this is the other thing. He worked under the table so that I could not get him for more.
Take care of business.
I couldn't get him for more money.
That's messed up.
So he was working under the table.
They will figure out a way how to.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it was my turn, because of the mission of the Army, when I had to pay him child support, they took it out. And I was like, this is barely enough for me to live off of.
Right.
Because
$50 for 2 children?
well, when the children were with him and I had to pay him, I had to pay like $500-$600 a month. I think it was $300 for each child. I had to pay him $600 a month.
Hell no.
For the 2 kids that I only got $50 a month for.
Yeah, women for
The same children. The same
The
two
same
children.
2 children.
That's why I got married there. That's why I got married. And then
But
my wife was a stay-at-home mom because by the time we pay child support, you might as well stay at home because by the time you go to work and we put these kids in daycare, that's $1,200. Hell no, that's your whole check gone. And I got to put gas in your car.
But this is the thing. His cost of living was so much less than mine. Like that $600 could go towards a whole lot where he was living at the time in Virginia.
Oh.
In Virginia. I lived in North Carolina, so it wasn't that much of a difference. But because I had children, I could not live in barracks housing. I had to live where they took what we have what's called BAH. And they took half of my check basically for rent and then took the rest of it almost for child support.
Right.
That's fucked up, man. This government, this is why you know what?
And
I
this
understand.
is why this is a problem. And this is why I get totally disgusted when I see men and women, but mostly women, exploiting child support, not using it for the betterment of the child, using
and I still bought extra stuff for my kids
as pawns, not allowing a father. How could you receive child support and not allow a father to be in the life of the child?
Exactly.
This is where it has, that's not the government. That is a moral issue. That is an ethical issue. How can you, in good conscience, just because a father, I'm trying not to get emotional, but just because a father has moved on with his life and is seeing someone, gets remarried, how dare you keep the children away from him because you're mad because he's no longer with you? That's not what it's about. And support is about more than
would send the money back, and it was no problem because I needed it to feed them because I could not feed them without the money. It was so bad. It was so bad. So yeah, the exploitation is real.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ashley.
Okay.
No, absolutely. You're fine.
I don't know why I can't bring more people in. I'm trying. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see if Keith can come. I'm trying, but it's not letting me bring anybody. And I've had 6 boxes before, and I did my update. I don't understand what's happening. Thank you, Ranking. Thank you so much.
TikTok does not conversations.
TikTok does not want us to talk about this.
I go live having these type of conversations. I have the same issues. Like all of a sudden, it's lagging, it's muting, it's kick. I get it. I agree. But I just wanted to expound off of something that Angel just said. I hope nobody knows me here now. Well, I don't mean it like that. So if you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Ashley.
No, I'm sorry, y'all.
When I was 19. It's okay. I have a 15-year-old son from when I was 19. That's the child that I had the most experience with the child support system. That's the son's father who he's not active. He's not doing what he needs to do. He's going to get what he gets because I've tried for at least 8-9 years before my son got to a certain age. I tried to work alongside. He didn't want to do it. That's fine. It's a lost cause. But I was married. So for everybody saying, stop having children so young. Stop being irresponsible and having children when you're fiscally not responsible or able to. Dee Dee was in the military.
Who's that? Hold on. Thank you.
Leonard be having a lot going on.
Leonard has a lot going on.
I got married. I had my second son in my marriage. The marriage just didn't work. So I was definitely not irresponsible there. My ex-husband and I have 50-50 custody. I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying that's why men need to get custody, or at least get 50-50 custody. Then you won't have to pay anything. That's not true. Your income is calculated. The woman's income is calculated. My ex-husband, even with 50-50 custody, still had to pay like $175 a month. So imagine the men who are making substantially more than their child's mother or their ex-wives or whoever. They could still end up paying a substantial amount of money, even though it's 50-50. And bottom line,
I'm okay,
I'm
y'all. I just get really emotional. I'm sorry. I'm okay, but I'm okay. Everybody keeps saying, "Angel, don't cry." I'm okay. I'm okay. I just get really emotional.
My only thing comes to support, I agree with Angel 100%. You have men who are not handling business. You have women that are taking advantage of the system. But then you have those people that are literally just wanting to work together, and it's hard. And they still get caught up in the system. At the end of the day, two parents created a baby. There should be no child support system when you have two able-bodied, mature adults that understand that they are going to have to co-parent together for a minimum of 18 years till the maturity of that child. It makes no sense for anybody to be struggling providing for their child. To me, it sounds like both people need to make a sacrifice. Both people may have to lower their lifestyles. Both people need to be living in the same area if possible. So you can get the child 50%, she can get the child 50%. Everybody as parents, concerning parents, you have to do whatever it takes to create a stable, consistent, healthy environment. That may mean you don't get to live in the city you want to live in right now. That may mean you got the same car. That may mean you can't get your hair done, your nails done, love. That may mean you living below your means to make sure that you and the father can co-parent cohesively and take care of that child. No one parent should be struggling while the other one is doing okay. I don't agree with that.
Right. And I see a lot of people.
That's all.
Satellite, you have to come on camera, love.
I think I'm
come on camera. I think a lot of people that are saying, you got to get married, you got to get married. Okay, yes, the idea situation is to be married before you have children. Yes, that's ideal. But like in my situation, I was married. I was married for 2.5 years before we got pregnant. But our marriage ended in divorce, and my daughter still needed to be provided for. So whether you're married, when you have the child, before, after, never got married, the system is not working. So we can't control that right now. But what we can control is what our mutual definition of support is. And we need to be on the same page because these children are suffering. And to me, it's more important to have both parents in the life, not just financially, but emotionally and physically. Keith, how are you?
Good evening. Good evening. How y'all guys doing? This is my topic. I have ruled this topic for many, many years. Been a father as a young man, been a father of nine kids, and been able to still support each and every individual's the same. And here's the deal, and I think Ashley hit it on top. You have to sacrifice. A lot of people don't get that. I got put on child support as a young man. And I've never paid less than $2,000 a month, never. And as I got bigger, my lifestyle got older, got more financial. I went through the baby mama drama. Everybody goes through it. Ain't nobody off limits. I know I done been married 2-3 times, and every time I got married, my child support got higher, and that was okay. I'm not gonna knock that, because when you doing good, it's not that and here's what people fail to realize: when you're doing a substantial amount of money and you living a big financial life, your child has that same. You should feel as a father to make sure your child still have that life when they're not with you as well. I paid a lot of house notes. I paid a lot of light bills, car notes. I paid a lot of, hey, I ain't got gas this month. I paid everything beyond the beyond. Even when I was married, even married now, I still take on that responsibility. Hey, if she's falling short on her house note, hey man, it's my job to still make my child comfortable. When she called me and said, your child want to redecorate his room, hey, don't worry about it, because he has a room at my house. I go redecorate his room the same as if he have it at my house. We have an obligation to make sure this kid is comfortable. And I know a lot of men go through this point, well, it ain't my job to make her live like I live. No, but it's your job to make your child live like you live. It's not, hey, my son every day, like now, we just got my son in private school. He called me every day around 1 o'clock. Dad, I'm hungry. I said, okay, what's the deal? So what I ended up doing was getting him a Cash App card. So he has no problem going and swipe that card. If you hungry at 2 o'clock, if I was at your house with you, you'll still be able to eat. So, and my child support right now, all my kids grown besides one, I'm still at 20. My child support is still $2,300 a month. And that doesn't mean that, hey, listen, just because I pay this don't mean my son don't get this. That's not how life works. Even though I pay this, and this is to a divorced wife and one of my son's mom. My son right now, his mom, I think she get like $800 a month. That's still not enough to raise a growing boy. But I understand my obligations as a man. And here's what a lot of young men don't understand, an immature man. Your child did not ask to be here. Your child did not ask to be here. You created that spawn. Now, when I went through, believe it or not, when I got married, you can't see your child. So you don't know they got a court that make me pay and one that make you do right. See, we don't want to talk about the courts that make them do right as well. We want to fight. I never had to. You make me not see my son, I see you at the next courtroom we call family court. We're not going to go through this. You can't do this, because you have the right just as she has the right. Yeah, they got one that make you pay, and they got one that make you visit. So when they act crazy, I said, that's all right, I ain't gonna worry about you. I learned that young age. Let me go down here to family court. Because what we ain't finna do is you tell me when and where and how I can't see my son, my child. So I tell you what, just like you want this money, let's go see this judge. That's because when I step in the courtroom, hey, it's already, Mr. Bennett, you back? Yes, this is the fourth one I'm back on. Mrs. Son Such, do you not know that Mr. Bennett is obligated to see his son just as you is, no matter if he's paying child support or not? See, a lot of people don't get that either. These brothers want to cry about it. Hey, listen, she don't want me to see my kid. Take her tail, excuse my language. Her ass should be at court. Stop fighting with people about who gonna do the right thing and who's not gonna do the right thing. You don't have to. And if you've grown, I mean, most young girls do this too. And believe it or not, when I step in that courtroom, here's my financials. Second of all, here's my days I'm here, and here's what I want as a father. This is what we're going to do here. I pay for his schooling. I pay for his medical. I pay for his clothes. I pay for his shoes. I pay for everything that I'm responsible for. So you give me my days. I want my 2 weekends out of the year. I want my every other weekend. I don't want to be seen. I don't got to drop off at the police station. You're going to bring him to the house just like I would have to come get him from your house. It's going to be the same as if you giving me, I'm giving. And when a woman sees that you really direct with her, they slow down with that BS. They slow down with it. See, they only do that to ignorant brothers who's going to fight with them and argue with them. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to argue with you, because you don't have to argue with me when it comes time to him need some or she needs something. And when like now, I got grown kids, 32, 30 years old, 28, still daddy. Even when they mama still getting, I went to prison for 14 years. I got out of prison with a $365,000 debt. Never once did I said, you know what? When I went to court, I said, give me those kids who got that money. I want each and one of them kids, because they should still have money left. And they said, no. I said, well, I owe you $365,000. 20 years later, I'm down to $50,000 in debt. In the next 4 years, I probably have that debt. I can pay it now. But the deal is, we gotta stop fighting about the nonsense. The obligation is both of you, and we try to make sure that me as a man, I gotta make sure my seed is gonna be able to look at me and say, "That's my father." He's gonna look at me and say, "I want to be like my dad." That's all that matters to me. Because money is something that's gonna come and it's gonna go. But like now, me and him go every year. We get season tickets to Atlanta Hawks. We follow LeBron James like we paparazzi, you know. And I'm telling him, "Hey, bruh, you know these tickets to LA ain't cheap. You know, I still got your mama and this kid in the size 9 to 10. We go buy shoes. It's 3 pair, and I tell him, "Hey, kid, you get 3 pair of shoes. Make them last. You get two shoes. You get every month. He get like 4 shoe trips a year." And he get 3 pairs. It's not. I gotta fight with her. Once you take that power from her, she has nothing else to say. She has no. And if you take that power from people, I think it's a power struggle. People are trying to prove something to each other. And if you take that power away, guess what? They don't got no argument. You don't have to fight nobody. I don't have to struggle with you. So that's the bottom line on child support. And really, like Ashley said, if you've grown enough, why are you on child support in the system? Okay, most women can't understand you left them to do better. I didn't leave you because I didn't like you. I had a better opportunity. And if you didn't want to grow with me, then you stay right here while I take this adventure. Because I'm going to do better for Keith. I'm not going to sit here and let you walk around in your slides and your moo-moo and your bunny. Nah, baby, that ain't my lifestyle. Let's go with it. You want to do that for yourself, that's your thing. But right now, we in poverty. So I got to bring this level up. And I don't want to look like I'm living in poverty. We're going to both do this. And they be like, you need a white girl. No, I just need you to do something that nobody else ain't doing.
What?
Hey, a lot of sisters don't like me because of that. They'll tell you in a minute, I don't do moo-moos and bunnies all day. You're not walking outside with this bunny on your head. And when women don't realize that, they be like, well, you need a white girl. I be like, okay, whatever, do your thing. But it's just maturity for us. And I know that's off topic, but listen.
Yeah, that's random.
But
Speaking of random.
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. Randall? Sorry about that.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, you
Random, bro. How are you, love? How are you? Thank you, Keith.
Listen, I'm well.
Now your situation is a little unique. I want to hear your take on all of this.
My situation is a whole lot different than what it sounds like I'm hearing. But you know, first of all, respect to everyone on the panel. Respect to everyone that's had an opinion on this. You too as well, my brother Keith. It sounds like you know you doing what you're supposed to do in the way in which you're supposed to do it, and I respect that. What I will say is this. The issue that I have with child support and men, more specifically, us as men, I won't even talk to women. I have a whole lot to say about women as it relates to child support, but I'll put the onus on us. As men, we have to understand that we have equal rights in this thing, right? Like we have the same rights. Now, granted, this system, as we know it, is set up to cater towards women. We get that. You have to understand that before you go putting your ducks in a row. The system is set up to cater towards the woman. It is tooth and nail trying to get a child from his or her mother. Let's be clear, right? Understand what that is. However, if you're doing what I hear most men fight about, it's the amount of money they have to pay or the visitation rights that they do or do not receive, right? I very rarely hear a man fighting for the primary custody of their kids. So when I went to the system, I fought for the custody of my child, right? Like I wasn't worrying about what you're trying to get me to pay. I'm a very intelligent man, so I do the study. I understand that child support is really just meant to divide the house it's basically meant to take the man out of the house anyway. It's kind of like
right.
welfare. It's kind of like welfare, right? Like if, back in the day when the men went off to war, they say, hey, I got this plan for you, get on welfare, but the man can't come back into the house. That's
Right.
that's essentially child support is a graduated form of what that is. So if you understand that first and foremost and dial it all the way back, you will understand that, okay, what you really should be fighting for is custody. Forget the numbers.
Right.
Forget the numbers.
Right.
The numbers are going to be what they're going to be. If you make more money than she do, they're going to hit you more. If she makes more money than you, you know what I'm saying? It's a balance, right? But at the same time, you need to be going there fighting for your child. You know what I'm saying? We be so busy fighting that mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she did me wrong or she got me out here doing this. Forget that 50-50 mess. You know what I'm saying? You should be fighting for 100% custody, hoping that they give you 90%, hoping that they give you 75%. You understand what I'm saying? But most men, unfortunately, don't want to step up and take that responsibility of being a full-time parent. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot.
Thank you for saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank
No,
you.
I'm being honest. That's a lot. I've done it. Both of my girls. I got both of my girls. I've always had them since my girls were 9 months. Since my girls were 9 months old, I've had them. I've been the primary. I've never asked for one dime for anything. I've taken care of them because I am their father. But I will tell you this: that is a heavy weight. That is a heavy weight. I won't say burden. I wouldn't say, you know what I'm saying, parenting is hard. Parenting is not hard if you understand, if your child comes first. Because you got to understand, once you have a child, life as you know it essentially goes away. You know what I'm saying? Like you start living for the betterment of your child, whatever that means. So if that means I have to suffer through these conversations with this person over here being the mother of my kids, that's fine. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm going to hold you responsible as the parent. I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care how you feel about me in the bigger scheme of things. I don't care about that. As your responsibility as a parent, show the fuck up. Spend time with your kid. Be a mom. I can't teach this baby how to be listen. I can't teach this baby how to be a woman. I can only show them how women are supposed to be treated. You understand what I'm saying? Like I can't. But I did it. I did the whole menstrual cycle. I did the whole. I didn't show them obviously, but I told them what I thought was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I did everything that I was supposed to do because my kids never went lacking. Even if I wasn't getting along with their mother, my kids never went lacking. I'm not even talking about financial. So much happens when we talk about child support so much that it becomes. I mean, like in the financial sense, so much that we forget about time spent.
Yeah.
We forget about.
What did I say?
We forget about.
That
Yeah, we
part.
forget about what a child really needs. You know what I'm saying? Like the child don't give a fuck about them new Jordans. A child don't give a damn about that new toy. You know what I'm saying? Because what do you do when what do they do when they get it? They get it, they play with it for one day, and then it's over. But guess what that child is going to remember? You went to that ball game with them. You showed up when they at cheerleading practice. You was there every single practice. You picked them up from school. You took, you know what I'm saying? They're going to remember those small conversations that you had to and from school. You know what I'm saying? They're going to remember that when you picked them up from school, you said, well, how was your day? You know what I'm saying? Talk to me. How was your day? Those parent-teacher conferences, they're going to remember you showing up every fucking time. They're not going to remember the clothes that they grew out of. You understand what I'm saying? They're not going to remember how much money you know what I'm saying? They're not going to remember all them fucking bills or bills you had to pay or all they know is when they walk in the house, they click the light and the light come on and they able to run around and be kids. That's it. Right. So the problem I have with us as men, you know what I'm saying, is we fight for the wrong shit. We fighting about money. And granted, I get it. The system is set up to I get it, brothers, I do. But more of us need to be fighting for our kids, our children, our babies. That is our responsibility. That is the support that we need to be fighting for. Again, be smart about it. Understand your rights. Most of us don't understand how this system works. You understand what I'm saying? Most of us just you got to understand, child support is a non-judgmental order. What that means is if you understand if you like when you go in default for child support and they bring you into court and they say, okay, well, you have what they call an arrears payment. Right? Or you have I don't know how many guys have ever had child support put on them, but if you go into the court right now and you have an arrears payment, you can't get a passport, You probably can't move the way that you
Driver's
need to move.
license suspended.
Driver's license be suspended. You can go to jail. You understand what I'm saying? But if you understand what you're supposed to, all of that shit is illegal. All of that shit is illegal. You should never have to go to jail. You should never have to do any of that. But you got to understand what you're walking into. You understand what I'm saying? Most of us just, okay. But then we'll do this. But then we'll miss court. Now, it just went from being illegal if they do that to you to now they have a right to lock you up because you didn't show up for court, nigga. You have a failure to appear. So now that's what they lock you up for. And while they have you, let me go ahead and throw all this shit on your books. That's why the gentleman before, he was like, he came out in $300,000 worth of child support or whatever that default was. Well, brother, that's because I guarantee, and I don't know that King, he sounds like he's doing a very good job, but I guarantee if he got locked up for child support, he got locked up because he missed a date.
Right.
He probably got locked up because he missed a court date or failure to appear or something like that. So when they get that, now it's compounded.
And
all
that's
I'm saying,
why
fellas,
that's why that's one of the main reasons why I feel like the system is so broken because, like I said earlier, the core problem is that this current child support system is based on principles of what the family looked like from 40, 50 years ago. And B, it's too much emphasis on enforcing child support and not enough focus on getting the non-custodial parent involved in the life of the child. This statistic is disgusting. The Federal Parent Locator Service Parent Locator Service is a national database that finds non-custodial parent for the purpose of collecting child support. Last year, 2021, they collected almost $33 billion, billion with a B. And 66% of that was from wage garnishment. And how many of those parents were enforced to be in the life of that child?
But you know what though, Angel? But you know what though? But that $33 billion number could be cut down to about 33,000. And let me tell you how. If every man that's on child support in that non-custodial role, if you go down there and you put yourself on Form B, right? Go down there and put yourself on Form B. Form B is custodial parents. But when they give you the form and say, hey, sign this, you're signing as a non-custodial parent, right? But if you go down there and you put yourself on Form B, we're both custodial parents. So now,
the problem is, and I'm with Angel. We all agree. I think everybody I haven't heard from Mark, but I think the three of us definitely are on the same page. We just want what's best for the kids. And it's not just about financial provision. It's about physically being there. These kids don't care nothing about shoes and clothes. They care about you throwing the football in the backyard. You can enforce a child support order. You cannot enforce a visitation agreement. Even if I say my son's father can come see him every day, how are you going to enforce that this man is not showing up?
But yes, you can though. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, you can.
Not in South Carolina.
Hold on. But it's all about what form you signed or did not sign for that matter. Because just like the gentleman was saying before, Keith. So here's the thing. If you go into court, right, and you go tell them you want a mediation, and in that mediation, you tell them to spell out what your custody order looks like. What your custody order looks like, not your support order, what your custody order looks like. And I guarantee you, every person that is getting jerked like this, well, not every person, but most of the people that are getting jerked like this are on Form A, right? If you go in there or request a mediation.
Random, I'm not trying to be disrespectful and cut you off. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Okay,
X the money out altogether.
Okay.
You are a father who wants physically present, so nobody has to force Random Rowe to come get his kids. Right?
Correct. That is correct.
There are men There are mothers and fathers that do not want to physically be in their child's life every day.
Correct.
And that's what me and Angel focuses on.
There should be
make
enforcement.
I don't need you to pay child support. I need you to come get these boys.
Right.
Correct.
And there is no way to enforce.
We're not talking
making
about
a man pull up and come get their kids. But you can enforce a child support. That's
Because,
why
you know why
that's
that
such
is?
the focus. Because you
But you-
cannot make
but
a
you know
man
why
be
that
there
is, though?
or want to be there.
But you know why that is, though? Because if you strip anyone of their means to live, if you strip anyone of their means to live, they're going to show up. If you start saying, okay, well, if you don't show up to this job, I'm not going to pay you. Guess what? I'm going to be on time. I'm going to whatever. It's the same thing. Like, it's unfortunate that we put so much.
I don't know if
it's so. What I'm trying to tell you.
My phone, it's really lagging on.
Can you guys hear me?
Try to go out and come back in, Ashley.
Okay. The point I'm making.
I'll come right back.
The point I'm making is this: you're not wrong in saying that you can't force someone to do something that they don't want to do. I get that. What I'm trying to tell you is this: we spend so much time worrying about what that other parent or other person is not doing that our child goes lacking. I don't give a in the 18 and now 17 years of my daughter's life, they've never once went lacking because their mother didn't show up to something. Not once. Not once. Now, granted, you would want that in the perfect world, absolutely. But the problem is we be so fucking focused on whether or not they showing up that we forget to show up. Or we won't get, you know what I'm saying? Or we it's like you destroy like that shit. Your child bears the brunt of all of that. Like, do you understand how many times I've been so frustrated and so just like, yo, I can wring your fucking neck. Like, your baby has a cheerleading competition. She has a cheerleading competition. You understand what I'm saying? Show the fuck up. Don't keep your money. Just show up.
Right.
Just show up so this baby understands that her mom loves her. So I don't have to have the conversation about why my mom don't want me around. So I get that part of it. I get the part of not being able to show or make a person do anything. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you don't want to be a mom. But what you can't do, what I do care about is if you've been a chiclectin. If you guys don't know what a chiclectin is, it's a flip flop, right? I don't want you flip flopping in and out of my daughter's life or my kid's life. So if you're gonna be a mom, be a mom. If not, then you can stay the hell over there, and it's okay because my child won't go lacking. You understand what I'm saying? My village is strong enough. My village is strong enough that she can get they got the principles that they needed from a female perspective. Now, would I wanted it from their mom? Absolutely. But not everything. Why? Because I don't think their mom was the woman that I would want raising my child, if that makes sense. And I know that may not sound okay, but I'm just being honest with you. You understand what I'm saying? But I have people around me. I have strong women around me that I feel like that help mold my daughters into the women that they are now. You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, I can't teach you how to be a woman. I can't. But I can show you how a woman is supposed to be treated. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is we went away from this whole village mentality. We're so hung up on what that other person is doing that sometimes we forget to do what we're supposed to do. And it's not making an excuse for any absentee person, because I feel like if you're an absentee person and you're fucking bum to me, you mean nothing to me. This is just me as a father. You understand what I'm saying? This is me as a father, as a man. If you don't want to be in your kid's life, man or woman, then you mean absolutely nothing to me. Like, I can say that. I don't want to get you kicked off your life, but you mean absolutely nothing to me. I won't even hold the conversation with you. I won't even hold the conversation with you.
I get it.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
So the point I'm making is I think sometimes we fight the wrong fight. I think sometimes we worry so much about what's not being done that sometimes we forget to do it ourselves. Like, make it happen. Make it happen.
Mark.
It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. And I don't want to monopolize it. I'll let the other brother talk. He looks like he may have something to say. But I'm just saying, yeah.
Thank you,
bro. Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Mark, you've been waiting so patiently. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm fine.
I've been sitting back and just listening. And some of the stuff, I mean, it's just mind blowing. Like, I don't understand how, especially as men, we can't understand that everybody's situation and circumstances are not the same.
Right.
You know, you got guys out there that literally, men lead in suicide. Okay, in the United States of America, you're talking about free men that have any capabilities they want, anything they can think of that they want to do, they can pretty much accomplish here in the United States. And we are offing ourselves, deleting ourselves higher than any other group. So when you say, because see, I was in the military for 22 years, so I know a lot of fathers that went through a lot of situations. I knew a man that every time he went to go see his child, when he had to leave and watch his daughter scream his name and clawing at the ground for her daddy not to leave, and we asked him to go through that every week, every time. See, a lot of times y'all say what's best for the child, but you don't understand that that man is thinking of ending it all every night because he can't take that. He can't continue to hear that in his head while he sleeps. He can't take it. So just because you're okay leaving your child every time you have to and hearing your child cry does not mean that every man has that same mental strength or emotional strength. A lot of times we put men in this box that, hey, you're supposed to just be able to do it. Well, if that was the case, we'd have a whole bunch more women married and a whole bunch more families. There's a lot of men that just ain't got it. There's a lot of men I know that give everything they possibly can as far as time, but they don't have the money. And guess what everybody calls him, including his kids? He there every time he can, spends as much time as he possibly can, all day if necessary. But because he don't make a certain amount of money, he's a deadbeat. Everybody call him a broke dude. You don't need to be around him. He ain't about nothing. But he loves his kids with everything he got. Just because he's in a financial bind, he's less than me because I got more money than him. Come on,
And
man. We gotta be careful.
should not be equated to finances.
But
I know plenty,
and we know that.
Absolutely. I know plenty of men that are paying for their children, paying child support involuntarily and voluntarily, but because they aren't spending the time that the mom or the custodial parent wants them to spend, they're considered deadbeat. And I just don't buy into that, or vice versa. He falls on hard times and can't pay as much, but wants to be in the life of the child. It just, to me, deadbeat does not have a dollar sign attached to it solely.
Unfortunately, we know that narrative is widely spread.
I agree 1,000%.
The grandmother would be telling his daughter, the mother, the aunties, all of them, telling her that her father ain't this and her father ain't that. And then we wonder why a lot of grown women equate man with money, because it starts when you was a child. If your father wasn't able to buy certain things, if he wasn't able to get you certain shoes, y'all made fun of the children that couldn't get those things. And we all did that. But I just will never down a man and what's going on with him and his children if I don't know all the situation and circumstances, because I know I've seen it. I've seen men in the military cry like children, like snot, can't catch their breath because they getting ready to get on a plane and go to a land where they don't know if they're going to come back, and their child has been taken legally, taken away from them. And because they're serving their country, they can't go chase that mother. They can't move to another state because she decided to. And the man will lose his child specifically because he is in the military.
Right.
Because she has the freedom to say, I'm going to be around my entire family. I'm going to stay in one spot. I'm going to stay in one school district. I'm going to stay around all my family, and he has to always leave. What about all the millions of people, men who served their country, who were in that situation? Because I'm telling you, it's more than 50%. More than 50 military guys, because they're employed, wife decides to be with somebody else who's local, and he loses his house, his child, and his marriage, and he did nothing wrong. And then we expect him to be able to go there and watch his child be with a woman and a man that stole his family from him. No, I can't do that and live without killing him, or something's going to happen. So you don't understand all the situation circumstances. So a dude may have just walked away because he can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He's
fuck
her. Nobody want me. So I'll just go make another family. And that's not right. But I don't know his pain level. I don't know that. I can't judge. I can't say nothing because I went through it. I didn't almost see my kids for 6 months because their mother moved to another state and knew I couldn't come. Watching my little youngest daughter say bye to me, screaming. I got in the car, almost ripped the whole steering wheel off.
Right.
Almost ripped it off because my daughter didn't want to divorce me. Her mother did.
Right.
So her entire life is done. She lost all her cousins. She lost her father. She lost all her friends from school just so her mother could prove a point.
The relationship ends, but parenting never ends. And that is what we have to remember. The relationship ended, but parenting does not end. Bullock.
So I want to say something before you get started, Queen. I want to say something. First of all, Mark, my brother, I'm so sorry that happened to you, man. Like, as you were telling that story, I was in my mind, I was thinking, okay, this sounds very personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds very real because, and I'm sorry that happened to you, brother, because I can't even begin. You know how people like, I understand what you're going through, brother. I can't even begin to understand what that feels like, King. So from one king to another, I am so sorry that happened to you, my brother. I really
Why am I so emotional?
Yeah, right. Like that literally gave me chills, brother. I am so sorry that happened to you, King. And if no one else has said that to you, my man,
I remember hearing people
say
that. I remember hearing people say, "Oh well, he ain't around like he should be," and my daughter would come and tell me, and she would say, "Like, Daddy, I heard them say that, but I
know." Brother. The passion and the pain that comes along with that, I can't even fathom, King. I won't even try to lie. I won't hold you. But what I will say to you is thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being transparent enough to speak your truth. You know what I mean? And again, I apologize if that happened to you. What I'm trying to say to the rest of
we apologize for her.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
We apologize for her.
Absolutely.
And fellas, what I'm trying to tell you is exactly what this king is saying. Is sometimes we fight in the wrong fight. Sometimes we don't understand that it's like here's a man that wants to be in his child's life. And I see a lot of women, I see a lot of people, and I see a lot of in these comments, and it kind of gets next to me when I see somebody say a woman won't let you see your child, or someone won't do this, or you're not able to see your kid, this. That kind of gets next to me because I'm like, there's never a situation in which if you want to see your kid, unless like that brother was before, unless he's off in the military or something like that, there's never a situation where you can't take the authorities. If it's your time to take the authorities over and visit your kids, so see your kids. Now, what you have in place is what you have in place. But what I'm trying to say is we have to do away with this narrative about she won't let me see my kids. She can't stop you from seeing your kids. If you do,
see your children.
if she does,
Do the
take
work.
her ass to court. She will be locked up, and you will have your kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish that on anyone. But what I'm saying is, do away with that whole she won't let me see. She won't do this. She won't do that, bro. This is the fight. That's why I say the fight that we need to be fighting is for
She
our
can't take
children.
this show.
Take the money off the table. Take the money off the table. Stop talking about how much she make you pay, and if I ain't paying enough, this. Forget all of that. You know what I'm saying? This is the sacrifice. Do what you need to do to whereas you can fight for the custody of your kid. And again, I'm not talking 50-50 custody. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
primary custody. So put yourself in a
Right.
position to where you can receive primary custody of your kid. There's a difference between joint and primary. You understand what I'm saying? Like you have primary, you make those decisions. You make some of those, you know what I'm saying, those hard decisions that need to be made. That's the fight that we need to be fighting. You know what I'm saying? Forget Lauren child support and she's saying I can't come see my kid. What the hell do you mean? What do you mean she ain't let you see your kids? What are we talking about here? You know what I
Right.
mean? But I
I
don't know.
feel you.
But again,
I
the
feel
system
you.
is rigged. But let's be clear. The system is rigged, right? I said this
Yes.
at the beginning. The system is
It
absolutely
is.
rigged. First of all,
It is.
it shouldn't even be a
So
system in place for a man and a woman to raise their kid. It should never even be a system, period. But
Right.
the
even
system
though it
was
is,
created. The system was created like every other system that has been created to go against us
I,
and our unions and
I
our
said that.
family.
I
It is that.
absolutely see. That's
We
what I
know
said.
what the system
That's
is.
exactly what I
And
said.
I want to be
That's
honest
what I
with you
said.
guys. I love this conversation, but I want us to understand that our familial groups are not monoliths. And so I see a lot of people in
Right.
the comments and I see a lot of people who are coming in the boxes and telling their experiences, but I want you to realize that those are just your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not
Mhm.
the epitome of the black community or the black family.
Right.
Like that is not the black family. That is what they have created of the black family because of the systems that have been in place to hinder the black family from being what it is because of how powerful we are.
Right.
When I said in the comments that effective communication can heal a lot of these wounds between both the single moms and the single dads, I meant that. I am a single mother. I have been a single mother for almost 5 years. My son's father is a retired Army vet. He's been to Iraq 4 times. And the respect I had for this man when I was dealing with him, I lost all of that the day I gave birth. I gave birth to my son 3 months early. He was born at 25 weeks, 6 days. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I was bleeding profusely, and he didn't show up. He had every opportunity. No door has ever been closed. It has always been communicated effectively that the door will always be open for you to be a father. Because I am a child whose father was not a father for the first 12 years of her life. My father was addicted to crack and he was not there. My stepfather has been in my life since I was 2. And the best thing my mother ever did for me was never talk bad about my father in front of me. She
Right.
allowed me to make my own decisions in regards to my father. And me and my dad, we still struggle to this day, but we go to counseling together. We do therapy together and we are working through our issues. But what that showed me is that the mother that I need to be to my son in the moment that his father is in, he is not as emotionally intelligent as I am. And that is not a shade, that's not shade to him. That's not nothing to him. That is love to him because I want him to be better for his son, not for me. We did not work and that is okay.
Mm.
However, I have done everything in my power to allow him to be that father, both financially, spiritually, emotionally, and he chose not to be. We had a deal. You pay $400 a month. That's all I need from you because my village was great to me in the beginning. And if you miss 2 months consecutively, I'll put you on child support. And you didn't. That was a boundary that I set. And you agreed to that boundary. You agreed to that boundary. And you failed to comply to the agreement that we both made. And so I did what I said I was going to do. And I placed you on child support. Not even then. We went to child support court. He was supposed to pay $12.50. I said I pay half a daycare because I said I didn't want them to take all of his check. I wanted him to still be able to save something and build something for himself and his children.
Mm-hmm.
So he only paid $7.85. You still choose not to pay that. Do I call you and hassle you? Do I call you for anything? No, I call you and I send you pictures of your son as he's been growing. I try to FaceTime you so you can see your son and he knows who you are. He knows that if something was to happen to his mom, that he does have a father that is in this world that he could strive to connect to. He has brothers in this world that he can strive to connect to. I've done everything in my power to be the best partner or co-parent I could be in this situation, but yet you still choose to make the decisions you make and not be a part of your son's life. And so when I say that we are not a monolith, I'm saying that all of us have experiences and my experiences are not yours. And to the women that did you guys wrong and put you guys through bullshit because they still loved you, put you through bullshit because they didn't want you to be with somebody else, put you through bullshit because you cheated on them. I don't care what you did in that relationship. You are not deserving of not being able to
Right.
see your children and spend time with your children, learn your children, and for your children to learn you. You deserve to be your sperm. You created that seed. You gave that seed its gender. You gave that seed its life. You are deserving of that. And I am sorry that that is some of y'all's plight. I really am. I am sorry that you guys didn't have child's mothers like me. I don't like to call myself a baby mama because I'm not just quote unquote the baby mama title. Like, I'm not that. I strive to be effective in everything and intentional in everything that I do with my child because I want my child to be great. I sacrifice so much for my child, and I know some of y'all do too. And so I want to apologize for every woman that did y'all and treated y'all wrong through the process of striving to be fathers to your children, because that hurt is not all of us. Don't put that on all of us, because that ain't all of us. A lot of us are fighting with y'all. We ain't fighting for you
Right.
against y'all. We fighting with y'all because I want y'all to be fathers. I want to change the stereotype for black men and black women.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just
So thank
Jasmine.
you.
Thank you,
I'm
Bullet.
sorry. Thank you, Angel. I'm going down. I love you.
I love you, darling. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of that. Jasmine.
I related to a lot of the things sis just said. Like, I'm sitting here like, yes, because I had a man that I was involved with, and he also didn't show up to the birth. Okay. So when you are pregnant and someone is not involved in the pregnancy, and then you give birth and that person doesn't show up, what other choice do you have but to say, I'm going to at least, like the bare minimum, make sure that my child is financially set? So in my situation, I was applying for child support right away. And at this point, I feel like even though he is involved, so it's a little different. He's no longer absent, but even though he's involved, I still feel like my child should have just the same similar lifestyle at my house than she should at his house. And I hear so many times women say, they're trying to have this relationship with the man, but or still have the parent involved in the life, but you can't force somebody to be a parent who doesn't want to be a parent. I'm not the person who's going to send you pictures or send you updates, or if you don't ask, I'm not going to force that relationship. Now, is the door open if you want to be involved? Yes, absolutely. But I don't feel like as women, we should have to bear the burden to also make sure that connection is still made and make sure that, at least my child knows that her father is still like here. And, like, I don't feel like women should have to do that. So,
And I respect, Jasmine, I love you. I respect your opinion on that. I'm going to push back a little bit on what you're saying for several reasons. Um, I think it absolutely is the responsibility of the mother to foster an environment where both parents are involved. Statistically, when children are raised in single parent households, there is a higher probability of them not being as emotionally advanced, not being as active in activities because of the burden of trying to find the transportation to and fro. I think that we have gotten so super comfortable in being okay with a single parent household as opposed to trying to do whatever it takes for us to have both parents involved in the life of the child. Now, of course, we may know that this person may not be fit. There may be drugs, there may be other things. But until we try or at least create that village for that child, I absolutely believe that a child deserves at least both parents as much as possible. The other thing that I kind of push back on is when you talked about the lifestyle being the same. It's not so much about the lifestyle. We got to get away from the materialism of parenting because I would much rather my child be at her father's house being loved, being nurtured, being taken care, shown how men should treat her, things that I can't share with her. I can't share certain things about men with her, only her father can do. If he was in a grass shack, and if I were in a mansion or vice versa, it's more important for there to be an equal amount of that love, support, and affection. So the lifestyle,
All right.
I I
Oh,
I like certain things. I like nice things, but that's me as a woman. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I expect for him to buy her a Prada bag just because I like Prada.
Right.
no,
So
no.
I think, the lifestyle really to me is about that emotional connection. She's getting the same amount of love and affection and care and warmth at her dad's house as she is at my house. Does that
I
Right,
make sense?
get that,
right.
but again, that's an action that you can't control. Like if my child's father is an emotionally cold person, or he's a narcissist or something like that, I can't control what happens at his house. Yes, I can leave the door open for him to have visitation whenever he wants. If he feels like he needs equal time with her, he can do that, but I cannot you know have her have the same amount of love and affection that she does over here. I cannot force him to do the developmental things and the educational things over there that she does at my house. That's just not. Now when I say lifestyle, I'm saying more so the financial things, because that's something that we can have some control
What
over.
just
So we
happened?
can't.
Hey, Bates, go out and come back in. You're echoing.
Oh my bad. I gotta give me a second.
Okay.
So we can, to some degree, receive the financial support so that, okay, over my house she's not having hot dogs and over there she's having steak. I use that analogy all the time, but it's like your
That's your
child
responsibility.
your child shouldn't be
Can I
living in a
can
shack
I
on one.
can I ask a question? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to, before we get too deep into that. Jasmine, you said before that the reason why, or he didn't show up to the birth or something to that effect, and if I'm misquoting you, please, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly because I was trying to just listen, right? You said he didn't show up to the birth, so you wanted to make sure, if nothing else, your kid was financially straight, right? Did I hear you say that?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But now
So,
that
but
okay.
then, hold on. But then you circle back and said that he's no longer absent,
Mhm.
but you still have him paying child support.
Yeah.
That
So
that doesn't. I'm trying to figure that part out because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If that was the case, then me personally, I should have taken child support out on both of my daughter's moms. But what was more important to me was raising a healthy child, right? Money, finances never ever factor into how healthy this kid is going to be emotionally and the maturation of a kid. You understand what I'm saying? That now, granted, your bed may be a little bit more comfortable over at your house than it is in my house, but I guarantee you that kid will sleep on the floor with you if they can cuddle with you, if they can lay next to their father, if they can lay next to their mother. That doesn't have a price tag on it. So I was with you up at night. If you saying this man is not with you when he's not present, period, and you want to put him on child support, I don't believe in child support. Let's be clear. But if that's the reason why you did it, because he was absent and all that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. He laid down with you. He has to bear the brunt of whatever that responsibility is. But if you tell me this man is now no longer absent and he's active in this child's life, that child support is just for you at that stage. And this is how I'm thinking. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. What I'm saying is that child support is just for you. That's for your security. Because you then said, well, he or she needs to be just as comfortable at your house and instead they are at my house. And I'm like, man, that ain't
my responsibility. That's
no.
responsibility of your house.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
at the end of the day,
I don't think
one more
she's
thing
saying,
that you guys can have it.
People in the comments.
No.
I don't think Randall Rowe is saying that the child doesn't need to be supported. I think Jasmine is saying that the child is being supported.
No.
Yeah. So,
no.
Well, let me.
I didn't say that at all. What I said, that's why I just listened. That's why I just listened. I didn't say anything. I just listened because I wanted to make sure. I wanted to see if she would go back and say what I hoping she would say. But she said that he's no longer absent, which was the original reason why the support order was in. And I understood that. I get that. But if that man is now present in that baby's life or babies, however many kids you guys have together, then it should no longer be about a financial gain, if you will, because that to me is, it just doesn't compute to me because, again, I was in the same situation where all I wanted you to do was be a mother to your kid. That's it. Because those are the things that money can't buy. Those are things that I don't give a damn. If you're paying me $100 million a month, you can't buy emotional support. You can't buy a strong mental stability. You can't. There is no price tag that goes along with that. So keep your money and give me your time. Keep your money and show up for the practice. Keep your money and come get your baby for school. Keep the money and just show up and have dinner with your kid once or twice a week. I don't care about the money. But again, these are my thoughts. So I wanted to make sure that I was understanding you correctly.
I hear you, and I feel like that's similar when people are kind of on the same income level. So 2 things. Let me take y'all through the timeline real quick. I did file for child support early on when he was absent. Before he ever met her, he filed for joint custody. So that's why I was in the comments like, just because you are a man doesn't mean the courts necessarily side with the woman. So we're still going through our custody battle and we're still going through our child support battle right now. He got granted a temporary visitation order and he still didn't pay child support. So there was over 6 months where he was receiving visitation and didn't offer a dime. So yes, although the court order
baby, those
in place,
those don't go together though.
I look at what was most important.
But those don't go together.
Right.
Those are.
You saying child support and
those don't go together.
When you are.
Yeah, those are 2 separate things.
When you're at a certain income level, then it's off of the worksheet. So you were talking about worksheet A and worksheet B. In my situation, we're not on either of the worksheets.
A and B.
I'm sorry, my light is motion detector. So
me,
but
I'm
yeah,
not on any of them.
There is no A and B. There is no A and B. So I had already had
baby. No. So but again, you're misunderstanding. The worksheet A and B is custody. Is what I'm trying to tell you. It has nothing to do with how much money I make versus how much money you make. This is
That's a
about how
Right.
custody.
much time is going to be spent with
It's
this
time.
child.
It's overnight.
That's what I'm saying. They have nothing to do with each other.
Exactly. It's overnights. But when you make
Yes,
over a certain
that's
income
what I'm
level,
saying.
it's off of the worksheet. So they just go off of what that person's income. You automatically have to go to court. So I automatically had to get an attorney. He automatically got an attorney, and eventually I had to get an attorney too. And like I said, we're still fighting this battle. But I don't feel like it's fair. Let me just be clear with you guys. I don't think it's fair if he is a millionaire and he makes significantly more than me and I cannot provide the same things as her. Like I
That's your
said,
fault. You gotta
but like
hustle.
I said, he he filed for joint custody before he ever
You
But
met
gotta
how
me.
is that
hustle.
on
That's
him?
on you.
I had already filed for child support months
Oh,
before. So he was already
Man,
on some, let me get 50-50 custody before
man, listen.
transferring money. So that way he has a less obligation in child support,
so
which
it's
the
so it's
top
about you.
child support.
You chose the wrong fella. You
I,
chose
I,
So this
somebody. You chose
so
I,
this is
Man, you
I
a
somebody
can't
get
even
with
say
agree.
back.
that, man, cause
I
man,
who
our
agree.
who
household
has
on
Is
who.
this a
her.
get back thing?
Right.
Wait a
Man,
minute. Time. Okay. Satellite and then Officer Bates, and then we'll
Yeah.
circle back down.
That's a much different
yeah.
circumstance. So that
This
circumstance
something
is
like
rare.
key.
I don't
It's
I don't
something like
normally
key.
hear a
But
millionaire and then me. I don't normally hear that. That's a
no,
different one.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, if that's your household on you. You can't calculate my money off of what you got going on in your house, especially if you already got me paying child support. If that's the case, what I'm paying child support for then? You see what I'm saying? You can't, if I'm a millionaire, you ain't making no money. You got to get on your hustle and become a millionaire too and do what you're supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't calculate my funds and say how it is at your house. Now, emotional support, that's a different thing. Your kid gonna get the same kind of emotional support at your house that he gonna get at my house. But you can't sit up here and just say like, since I got money, I automatically owe you. Because when the child with me, is you gonna pay me? You ain't gonna send no money to me when the kid with me. That's all I wanted to say about that though. You can't talk about because I got money, I'm supposed to give you my money. 9 times out of 10, you probably go get another old man. You probably with somebody else and all. You know what I'm saying? Even if you didn't have my kid, you'll still have to pay your bills. So your bills is your bills. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's how I see it.
I
But no,
don't
y'all keep
agree
going.
with Satellite. I feel like I don't make the law. So I just filed the child support and the courts decide how much of that obligation is to whomever is going to. So just because he has some visitation rights does not mean automatically he doesn't have to pay any child support. It's
No,
So
already in
so let
that
me let me
five.
let me interrupt for a second because now I'm confused. So I just want to make certain that I understand. So initially, because I think this is where the disconnect is happening. I know for me, initially you said that he did not show up for the birth of your child, and so as a result of that, not that you didn't mention that you needed support, you didn't have the means to pay. As a result of him not showing up, you put him on child support. So I just want to understand, was that because you had the financial means to take care of your child only, but you put him on child support because he didn't show up? Because to me, that is two totally different issues. And if he's showing up now, he's showing up. Your motivation was to put him on child support because he's showing up, but now he's showing up. Then why would you not stop the child support if that's the motivation? Now, if you put him on child support because you need it financially, that's different. So is it because you put him on child support because he wasn't showing up or because you needed it? That's where I think I'm not I'm not connecting the dots.
I think it's a little of both. So throughout, my child is 14 months now. So she's always been provided for this entire time. But when I put him on child support, I feel as though just because he came back into the picture and he started showing up, that doesn't mean automatically he doesn't have to pay child support. Now, is his amount that he has to
That's
pay
exactly
less
what they mean.
because he is there? Yes. Just because men are involved in their child's life doesn't mean they don't have to pay any child support at all. But I don't feel
What about when he
I
was
don't come
doing
up with the
That's
numbers.
exactly what they
I
mean.
didn't say, oh, he got to pay $5,000 because he's rich. None of that. I left it up to the courts. Like, hey, y'all do what you
it? Yeah,
do.
she did it for
If
the money, man.
But that's what.
if he, but he wasn't
But
there.
baby,
He
that's
wasn't
exactly what
there.
you did
You put
though.
him on child support for the wrong reason, dog.
But
I
here's the
put him
thing.
on
That
But
child
that's
when
support
you
before
leave
he
it,
ever
when you
showed
here's
up.
the thing though. But when you, mama,
But
when you leave it up to the
motivation.
court system, that's saying the exact same thing.
that's what's gonna happen. That's what the
That's
court
saying the
says. That's what
exact
the
same
whole thing is
thing.
set up
You
for.
you did. So you may not say
And when he
that's what
filed
it's
for
gonna
joint
do.
custody, he filed for joint custody, like I said, of a child he never had
But
met at the time. But when he did come around, I didn't stop that. I didn't, say, hey, you can't see your kid, you ain't paid me child support. I didn't do any of that. But am I going to just take off the responsibility of the financial piece just because he showed up? No, no.
Man,
Just
yeah,
Jasmine,
because.
Jasmine, you didn't, based on
yes,
what you're saying, we're not judging,
yes,
please, but based on what you're saying, baby girl, you didn't even give him a chance because
For
you're
six
saying
months,
because he didn't show up at birth, you didn't give him a chance to prove that he could pay financially every week or every 2 weeks. Your sole motivation initially was because he didn't show up at birth, because I'm listening to what you're saying. So did you give him an opportunity, or was it like he didn't show up to child
yeah,
support? So
Angel, he had ghosted me my entire pregnancy as well. So it wasn't just like we were talking and then he didn't just show up to the birth. I thought that he was not wanting to be involved at all in the child's life. I didn't need to wait for 6 months, a year, 2 years for him not to be there for me to file child support. The baby needs diapers immediately. So in my mind, I said, well, he hasn't been there throughout the pregnancy. There was no checking in. It was completely ghost. So why wait? I filed for child
right,
support.
but I guess, and I get that, and you have every right to want support for your child, but why not fight for him to be active?
that's what
I
I'm talking
did.
about.
But I thought we were talking about child support, but I tried to
So
reach out. Look, I tried to reach out to him several
But
times. I tried to reach out to his family members. I did try to get in contact with him, but he never responded until
Hey,
he got the child
so
The
support
child
so
support.
Jasmine,
petition.
I
And
get
can I
I
ask you a
then
get that
question?
part
I
though. I
want
get that
joint
part.
I
I
custody.
get
get that.
that. I get that.
So
I get it.
so
So at
so
this
that point I
point,
understand because that's
yeah,
typically when shit get real.
Right.
right,
I
Yeah,
when
get
you
that.
about
that
to
I
run off,
totally
That's when shit
understand.
get
you feel
real.
like you
I
about to
got a
run off.
knock
But
on the
can I ask
door
you?
like
But
2 weeks, and I was like, "Who the hell?" I thought
but
I
can
was
I
getting
ask you a
going to
question
jail.
though?
yeah, yeah.
Just
So Jasmine, so let me ask you this: how long how long has he been consistently active in this kid's life?
He's been consistently active for about 6 months, about 6, 7 months.
how old
hmm
is the child?
Okay,
She's
now
she's only
okay,
14 months,
six
so
seven months.
she's
Is he
still a baby.
14?
hmm
Right. So half of this kid's life he's been consistently active. Correct?
hmm Yep. I
Does the
got my
baby
first.
recognize that
I
he's
got
the
my
daddy?
Give
first.
give or take. Okay. Is
Does the
he
I
baby
got
still
my
smile at
first
current?
him?
child support payment last month.
Is he still current?
Yeah, I got.
I'm not talking about no money. I'm asking a different question. Did is he currently active in this kid's life? Not
Yeah,
support. Active in
yeah.
this kid's life currently.
He shows up for his every week
Why is this man still on child support?
because I
So
like
why
I
not?
said
So why have you
I
guys maybe talked
already.
about? Okay, so
Mhm.
okay, so would it be fair to say he's in a better situation to care for the child? Would you agree to that?
No, I think we're both financially stable. It's just that we have a large income disparity, but I'm not struggling either. However, like I said, the court comes up
That's
with
not what I
the
asked you.
amount or
I'm asking.
says,
Do you think is he No. But you went to the court, so it's the same thing. What I'm asking you is this: is he in a better situation to care for the child?
No.
So what you saying?
Just
No.
because someone
Why?
makes more money doesn't mean they're in a better place to care for the child. Like Angel said, there's a lot that
Okay.
goes
Listen.
into
Listen.
raising
Okay.
a child
Listen.
other
Listen to
than
the question I'm asking.
financially.
Listen. Listen to the mama. Mama. Listen to the question that I'm asking, and tell me which one of us are talking about financial. I have not said anything. I keep saying we're not talking about finances.
Right.
I'm not talking about finances. I'm asking you if this man has been active in this kid's life for the past 7 months, still currently active, is he in a better situation to care for this child? Not monetarily. Is he in a better situation to care for this child?
No. I don't believe he is. No, I think that we
Okay.
both have equal rights to care for the child. I don't think that he's an unfit parent. I think what he did was a
Okay.
really shitty thing, but I don't think that he's necessarily an unfit parent just because of what he did to me. Like
So
that's against
go.
me, but
I'm
not
so glad
against
you said. I'm
her.
so glad you said that.
She ain't making no sense.
So I'm so glad you said that. So now, can you take away the hurt that you have that he did to you? Because I can be honest with you and say this sounds kind of like vindictive. Not calling you vindictive. It sounds vindictive.
Call it how
Like
you
you
see
did
it,
this
man.
because of this. Well, that thing is no longer happening. So why is this thing still in place?
Yeah.
Like if you both can care for this child equally, then get the courts out of your business. Like just get the
That's
courts
right.
out of
Well,
your business completely.
I'm not the one who involved the courts.
Get the courts out. No. Get the court. I'm saying the same thing for him.
I
So you guys get the courts out of your business.
we
Be adults, be grown-ups, and get the courts out of your business.
You got to have a conversation. You guys got to talk and be on the same
we
accord.
haven't had any type of
You
conversation
gotta talk.
Okay.
You
You
gotta
got to
around
make it
talk.
happen.
That is
You got to talk.
because and I agree with Bro. If he is in a position to care for the child emotionally and support along with you, you both can. Do you feel like if you stop the child support, do you feel like he would not support you or he would stop supporting the child? Because that's two different things. So for example, do you feel comfortable with the
Right.
child staying with him?
Yeah.
So if and let's just say hypothetically every single weekend. So then while the child is in his care, he supports him or her, feeds her, clothes her, does everything that you do Monday through Thursday. If that's the case, then is the child support now because when the child is with you, you struggle financially? Or is it that you need the support to support a certain lifestyle? Because you talked about lifestyle early. I
You
guess
want a
what
lifestyle?
I'm trying to get at is when we do more with less. And if both parents can support emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and financially the child, then why do we involve the child support system? Because the child is going to get everything that the child needs when it's with the non-custodial parent. The
Right.
child is going to get everything the child needs with the custodial parent. So that's what I guess we're asking, what should be evaluated. Now, if you feel like the child is not going to be any better or be worse when he or she is with that non-custodial parent, then yes, get the child support. But if the child 7 days a week is going to be supported for, it's going to be fed, it's going to be clothed, regardless of how much time it spends with the parent that isn't in the household, then why would we go through the child support system if that's happening?
I don't understand why just because a parent is involved, we automatically have to drop the child support. You've already shown being inconsistent, right? But I just feel like I don't establish these guidelines. Again, it would be different if I was like, he got to pay me this amount because we have these different incomes. But that's not the case. I said, you know what? You file for joint custody. So whatever the judge says, which will probably be 50-50 at the end of the day, then that's what it is. I file for child support. So whatever the judge said, that's what it is. Even though you have 50-50, if the court still deems you, having to pay a certain amount, then that's just what it is. So I don't agree with I'm just automatically gonna drop it because he has 50-50 and we both provide for the kid in our different homes. Like if you
Let him
make
take care of your house.
if you make a certain amount and I make a certain amount, and because we have such a big income gap, they deem, still necessary for me to
My
receive
God.
child support, then that's just what it is. At the end of the day, if you didn't want to be in this situation, then you should have showed up from the beginning. But now that it's here, then let
And there
the
it is.
fall where they
And
will.
there it
But
is.
I can
How
not
much?
see
How
the
much
I
is
can
it? How
see
much is
the
the
It is.
disparity though?
the
There
I
it
can
is.
see
the
the
disparity is
temporary,
large.
the
So
the
I'm a
weekend. I
It
can
doesn't.
see
It doesn't
if the
matter.
child is spending more
Now, I
time,
just wanted to know
with
because
you. The 50-50, this is where we're going to agree to disagree,
Yeah,
cuz if the child is with me one week and with the father the next week, why
what you
do
need child support
we
for?
need child support? That
well,
part
here's
I
Yeah,
don't
so
understand.
just
I don't
again, this is
understand.
still ongoing. So we're not on, 50-50 right now. Right now, I still have sole or primary custody, and he still has visitation until things are finalized. But I
Primary
believe
custody.
when we go, yeah, I believe when we go to the court that they're going to give him 50-50 because I don't deem him unfit for any
right.
reason.
Right.
And I'm not going to
So
fight that.
if they give him 50-50, do you still believe that he should be on child support?
Yes.
oh
Yes.
Absolutely.
I
come
do. I
on,
Absolutely,
do.
man.
she does.
I
Let me
I
answer
Nah.
for you.
believe, but guess
Yes.
what?
Let me answer.
His
Let me answer
obligation
for
is
you.
going to be
Absolutely.
significantly lower than it was when he's
But
not.
why?
So
She want the
let
money.
me tell you.
But
Let me
why?
tell you.
She want the money. It's the
So baby,
manyan.
no. Hold on. You guys have to listen.
I'm just waiting for my
Listen to
turn.
It's the
listen to what's
manyan.
being
I heard
said.
all I need,
She's. Oh well, my bad, King. Go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
no!
Then go ahead.
I'm listening. This is good. This is
It's the
good.
manyan, man.
It's not. It's
Okay.
not
Well,
I'm in
you
about.
guys
South
have to listen.
Carolina, so things are different in South
I'm in
You
North
Carolina. I
have
don't
to
know
Yeah,
about no
listen.
other
things are
states.
I'm in
very
North
different in
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina, it
If
ain't,
Carolina.
it
that
ain't gonna
man
be like that.
dedicating, if he
I'm in North
dedicating his
Carolina.
time and
Right,
emotional
but I'm
support
saying
and
South
everything else
Carolina
with
is
this baby,
different.
you want
That's
the
why I
money?
came in because
It's
I
about the
got
manyan. When the child
South
with him,
South
when the
Carolina,
child
Carolina.
with him, is he
South
South
okay?
Carolina
Carolina
don't
is
play that.
way different.
yeah. That's why I came in. I said I got something to add. Oh, because you know what I
Right.
mean. I'm she.
But guess
So
what? The
Bates,
same.
your
Nah.
experience, you could speak to this
What
because
you?
you have joint custody with your children, right?
Yeah. See the thing is, I married when I was 19 years old. I'm 33 now. You understand? 2016. We separated, right? I came home from basic training. I went to basic training, came home. My mind was different. I was in a different mindset. I was way more patient after basic training. I went to basic training at 26. So I came home different. I came home thinking about team play. I thought about, hey, well, how much coming in, how much going out? Hey, what's your debt? What's my debt? You know what I'm saying? We put everything together. What's left over? You know what I'm saying? Because the math wasn't mapping in my head. At the time, I believe she was at 70,000 a year. I was probably like 34, 35 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm over 50, but that's rare for a black man in South Carolina that don't work at a plant. You understand what I'm saying? That don't rely on overtime. So my salary, I worked hard to get to where I'm at. You feel me? She's always been at least 30,000, 40,000 more than my salary. She has a doctorate. Beautiful. Great mother. Besides that is maturity when it comes down to I married young. She's 9 years my senior. No issues with that other than our emotional intelligence sometimes and how we was raised kind of dictated how our relationships go, right? Her dad, all-star, you feel me? Gave them everything they wanted, silver spoon. I came from the hood. So my lifestyle, my ability to be cool at the top, be cool at the bottom was a lot different than hers. However, everything was fine when it came down to respect. There's certain things that a man just, I'm not going to let you call me on my name, and I'm not going to let you downplay my role as a father.
Right.
I took maternity leave. You understand? I took maternity leave for my son in 2009. I took 6-7 weeks. You know what I mean? Because I was in a position to do so. My daughter's born, same thing. I took them 6 weeks. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm wiping. I'm staying up. I was always a dad that, how can I put it? Every moment of their life, I'm gonna take a photo. You can watch my kids grow up from the birth till my son is 12 and turn 13. My daughter just turned 10. I documented everything because I didn't have Polaroids when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never saw. I don't have more than 2 pictures of me being held by my mom or my dad. I only got a picture of me in my brother's lap, and I got a picture with my cousin. I have no photos of a parent holding me. I have no recollection of my mom consoling me at an earlier age. I have no recollection of my dad. Hey, you know, everything's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I never played ball with my father. I never played kickball. I never played catch. I taught myself how to catch the baseball. I taught myself how to do a pop-a wheelie. I taught myself how to ride a bike. I taught myself how to skate. I climbed my first tree by myself and fell out and got back up like everything's okay. My dad wasn't there, but my mama was there.
Thank you, darling.
You feel what I'm saying? So for me, fatherhood was important because I wanted to be better than my dad. I didn't have the money. I didn't have a degree. Still don't have a degree. But I was able to work my way to a salary that I'm good. My hustle always put me in a position. She's always made 2, 3, almost, you know what I'm saying, 30, 40,000, 50,000 more than my salary. Ain't no big deal there. But when we separated, I separated for one reason, and that was respect. Once that level of respect, the basic level of a man's respect, once that level went here, you will never call me a play date to my children because I like to go to the park. I like to take them go get ice cream. You know what I'm saying? I like to do these small things that you may not do that I enjoy doing because my daddy didn't do it for me. I ain't never went to a park with my daddy. Never. I'm 33 years old. I went fishing with my father twice. And that's only because somebody else took me. I used to sit back and on the bed and watch the fishing channel with him because I'm thinking like one day he gonna be like, hey, let's go fishing. Never happened. So my fathering was a lot different because I didn't have those moments. I didn't have the video. I didn't have the pictures. And I said, no matter what happens, don't ever pit me against my children. And she did it twice. And I'm not saying I'm faultless, but I said, there's 2 things I just won't allow. Don't ever pit me against my children because I'm always going to be here. You will never know what it's like to be a single parent. And I meant that. You feel what I'm saying? So boom, separated, fast forward and back. Richland County knocked on my door. Within 2 weeks, she asked for $1,000 a month. I said, let me get my first round of bills first. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time on my own. I ain't never been on my own before. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get that first round of bills. Let me figure out what I can do. I changed my dependents to 9. I'm like, give me all my money because I'm not going to let this break me. But I still pick my kids up from school. Every schedule I ever had, I dictated my schedule based on what was conducive to family. Right. So my 7 to 7, I get off at 7. I get home by 8 because my son went to bed at 8. At least I could do was kiss him goodnight. If I left that Department of Corrections, if I didn't leave at 7:15, I was having a fucking hey, listen, hey, I'm getting the fuck up out of here because I wanted my kids to see me, my son, to see me before he closed his eyes. When we separated, I was still here every day. You feel me? I lived in a car. You feel what I'm saying? When my daughter was born, I was living in a car. I wouldn't go back to Newberry, which is 45 minutes away. I stayed in Columbia. You know how many times Richland County knocked on my door like, hey, you can't sleep here. And I knew I had to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? So in corrections, you working 3-4 days straight. So I went 2 days without showering. I just, uniform, I'm good. I'm going back to work because I knew I had to be back in Columbia. School, take them to school. Be there to get them out of school. My days off, before, I was with my children. I didn't want the daycare to do it. I wanted to do it. Nobody was involved with my children the first year of their life. And that was big for me. But when the county knocked on my door, I was like, damn. All right. So I looked at it and I called her immediately like, yo, what's up? I just, you know what I'm saying? Well, the court, It was the bitterness. It was. But I'm a peace person. I'm not going to argue. I don't want to argue. I want to go back and forth. And I said, well, that's fine. well, the court's gonna make you pay more, da 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 da. I'm like, you gonna see? I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I love you. We'll talk tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a better understanding. Went to court. My children are on my insurance with TRICARE. I cover everybody. You feel what I'm saying? So I got that child care credit. No problem. When it came down to summer camp, my kid's supposed to go to summer camp. They never went to summer camp. I said, I'll pay for summer camp, no problem. She got the credit for that. To this day, within the last 2 months now, this is 2016, 17. It's 2022. I just got off child support. And I've been back in the home. You feel what I'm saying? I've been back. And it still didn't make sense. But instead of being hasty and being upset and making demands, I said, hey, it don't make sense because I give you my entire paycheck. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have to, but I'm in a financial position because I hustle to give you my entire check. How many men you know can give you their entire paycheck?
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it, but you got to think I'm married, you understand? So money ain't my thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Man, I wouldn't.
That's the difference, though. You feel me? So in essence, I don't need it. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, take care of what need to be taken care of. I'm straight. I'm good. But then the conversation continues to come up like, listen, hey, what's going on? And it finally clicked, but it took conversation. It took patience. You feel what I'm saying? It shouldn't have come to that. The court should have never been involved in what I had going on.
Right.
And
Right.
I explained I will never let child support break me. I moved my dependents to 9. I did what I had to do. You feel what I'm saying? But in that process of us being separate almost 4 years now, I got promoted 3 times. I got promoted in the Army. You feel what I'm saying? My pay went up. You feel me? Photography was doing much better. I created a business. Right before the pandemic, I got the Black Project. I got this podcast thing going to where financially and mentally, whatever issues you got going on where it's the bitterness was still there, I don't have to partake in that. It's all about peace. You feel me? But it was conversation. It took conversation. It took patience. It did, because I could have been tit for tat. Hey, we going to court. You feel me? The first text I got when I moved into my apartment, I went negative 500 bank account. I moved out of that my home because we had some physical stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got pushed off the stairs. It wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal to me. Now that on top of the verbal, I was like, nah, I can't. This is what I'm doing. By the first, I was out of there. My son said, Daddy, want me to help you move? I'm like, nah, baby, I got it. You know what I'm saying? But my kids were old enough and mature enough to understand what daddy not happy, mommy not happy. I made a decision for everybody. You feel me? I'm 5 minutes down the road. You feel what I'm saying? So my dynamic is much different than everybody else's. I'm literally 5 minutes down the road. Pick them up from school, I got it. We got soccer practice, I got it. Tiny Mike football coach, I got it. T-ball coach, I was that. Doctor's visit, I'm there. You sick, I got it. Don't worry about it. Kids sick, I'll be at home. No problem. Dinner, I never miss dinner. Never miss a family function. Never missed a birthday. You feel what I'm saying? While separated, I still maintain that husband role. I still maintain that father role, and I never let it go. No matter how bad I was feeling, no matter how difficult it was, I still made it happen. When a bug in the ceiling and they can't nobody reach it, who you think they call? Me. But my family dynamic was different. And I knew if you call me, your mama ain't gonna kill no bug. My son not finna do it. My daughter not gonna do it. I got it. I'll be right there. You know what I'm saying? Come over there, swipe it, and I'm back. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was a lot different because I was big on the family dynamic because I didn't have that. So for me, it's a lot different. For everybody else, I get it. You can feel how you want to feel. You can be upset with one another. But for me, I wanted to maintain that father figure. Well, we talked about lifestyle. I had an apartment. I had an air mattress on the floor. The first thing I bought was a TV. And then I got a couch. I said, shit, I can sleep on the couch and I can sleep on this air mattress. What their mother told me was, you don't have the same things that I have here. They can't stay overnight there. And I'm like, why? Like I'm literally 5 minutes down the road. I'm here every day. They see me every day. You feel me? When I pick them up from school, they with me until you get off at 4 o'clock. And they go with you, and I'm sitting there from 4 until the next morning saying why I can't be with my children. It never made sense.
Yeah, I know. Y'all gonna have me crying again. I've been crying this whole life.
So my point, it never made sense. But rather than get mad, rather than stump my feet and be demanding, I tried my best to be calm. And it took 4 years of calmness to get in the position that I'm in now, to where when I'm upset, I'll speak on it. When I feel wronged, I'll speak on it. I don't have to bite my tongue. And financially, I'm in a better position. 10 years ago, if you kick me out, I'm not going back to mama house. You feel me? So for me, I had that financial, I'm stuck under a rock. So I endure because my kids need me. Now I know financially, I got 60,000 in the bank. You feel me? If I pay for your lawyer too, we can figure this shit out tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
My son finna turn 13, so I've invested enough time to where my kids will never ever forget me. I have so many memories and videos to where they will never ever forget me. To this day, my daughter won't touch a door handle. You know what I'm saying? My son would never raise his voice at a woman, even though I did. You feel what I'm saying? My son will never disrespect his female teachers. You feel me? There's certain things he will never do. My daughter, hey, keep them legs closed. You know that. Hey, I'm watching you always. Hey, hygiene is close to godliness. You know what I'm saying? Hey, go brush your teeth, girl. Let me see. Let me smell your breath. You know what I'm saying? Go brush your teeth again. You know what I'm saying? So I've done all I could do with what I had. And again, my dynamic is much different. What runs my household is much different. I chose no matter what to be present. I chose no matter what to be peace. And that is not easy for a lot of people when it comes down to their children. The moment I left, I got a text message. I laid on the floor. I had a basket of clothes. I took 2 DVDs. I had Rush Hour and I had I had Transformers. I didn't have a TV or a DVD player, but I knew when I got one, those were the first 2 things I was going to watch. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, it was different. When they knocked on my door and served me that paper, I was like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even had time to really figure it out yet. But it was okay because I knew where the hurt was coming from. And it's okay. I knew my faults. You feel me? I knew where the hurt was coming from. And I said, one day we'll be able to communicate and get past all the old shit, the petty shit. One day we'll be able to.
That is the whole point. That, you know, I see a lot of people comments, you know, and Jasmine, I'm not being hard on you. All I'm saying is, if the emotional support, if the physical support is there, he's there, and he wants 50-50 custody.
Right. Take him off child support, man.
Yeah. I mentioned it. I mentioned it, and the disrespect that came, I was like, you know what I'm saying? So I took it on the chin because I said, you're still bitter, you're still hurt. But I said before, you will never know what it's like to be a single parent. And I meant that.
Right.
I meant that on everything.
Saying, oh, she's bitter. That's why she wants to keep him on child support. And the truth of the matter is, I've never had an argument with my child's father. Never. I've never cursed him out. I never turned up at his job. None of that. So I'm all about being emotionally, mentally, making sure that you are, you know, being centered. Okay, so I don't let him or the situation take me out of my character or out of my center. So it's not about being bitter. It's about
yeah. I don't see bitter at all. I don't see bitter.
It's just the fact of the matter that things have already happened, and so I'm gonna let whatever the consequences of his actions and my actions play out as it is, you know. But I'm not at the place where I believe that, you know, the 2 things are interchangeable, like, because you have to be bitter or you have to be upset, and that's the only reason why he has to continue to be on child. It really is not. No, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna let the next people talk. But I just wanted to say, like, I've never had an argument, and I never will, Because
Yeah, I don't see you as bitter, love. I don't see you as
Right.
bitter.
no,
Continue to talk. Continue to talk to him. And I will pray that you and he get to a point where you all are on the same page. Because I'm telling you, the child support is extortion. It's a racket.
Yeah.
The system, we're not talking about letting a parent off the hook from financially supporting it. That's not what we're talking about. I'm
Right.
talking about the court ordered support that is wrecking families. If he or she is supporting the child financially, you all are communicating, you have an arrangement, then why go through that court system? Why? So thank you,
Yeah.
Jack.
Hey,
Thank you.
Yeah,
I just
it's
want to
tough.
say, man, I salute you, Officer Bates, man. You know, you're a stand-up dude. You know, and my story was kind of similar to yours, but the only thing that was different was, you know, I wasn't married. You know, I just, you know, me and my baby mama, we were just together for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And we got 2 girls together. So it's
To
similar because
me,
like
to me
2
that
months after we broke
equates
up.
marriage. That's
Yeah.
just that's a lot of invested time
Yeah, but you know
to
that we
where
weren't legally married. Now, you know, I
yeah,
bought her a
I
ring.
feel
You
you.
know, we had
Right,
rings
right,
and stuff. You know, we was together, but like,
right.
you know, we just weren't legally
Come on
married. You see
camera,
what I'm saying?
Keats. Come
But
on camera,
what I
love.
was saying was 2 months after we broke up, she did the same thing, tried to put me on child support. And mind you, man, I love my girls to death. I was there since the day they were born. I cut their cords. I signed birth
Right.
certificates and
Yeah.
everything, pictures, just like you saying.
Yeah.
That's why it hit home to me, man, because, you know, I've been through the same thing. So, it like, you know, 2 months after we broke up, she went down to the IRS office, and I got a letter in the mail talking about putting me on child support. And mind you, my girls this summer, they've been to 4 different theme parks. I'm down here in Florida, so they've been to Disney World, SeaWorld,
Right.
Aquatica, and medieval times. So, you know, I do everything I can for my girls to keep my girls happy because they my life. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. I feel you.
And yeah, like I said, she waited 2 months after we broke up, trying to go to IRS office down here and put me on child support. But I was like,
Right.
man, I ain't going for that. So I went to the courthouse and filed for petition of paternity down here. You know what I'm saying? So I could have rights to my kids. But between that time, everything was cool. You know, I asked her what she need from me, and she was like, she need health care. So bam, we get that taken care of. All the while, all the while, she trying to go through the IRS place to put me on child support, trying to tell me I'm the one that sped it up by going to the courthouse and filing the paperwork. But I'm like, I'm not going to let you put me on child support because they're going to put from the date that me and you broke up and have me in the rears. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be in the
Right.
rears on child support. I'm about to pay you back that money. So once we went to court and everything, you know, that's when she started trying to keep my kids from me, basically trying to tell me I got like one day to be with my kids, so she could try to make it seem like she got most of the time with them. You know what I'm saying?
I
Trying
had
to
a
make
half a
it
day.
so that way
I
she can
had a
get some
couple
money.
hours.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
I
it was
had
basically
a
like
couple
from
hours.
6 o'clock in the morning, like 7 o'clock that evening, she wanted me to drop it. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because I've been coming to get my kids. And we had problems and everything. I even got it to the point where I was like, I just pick my kids up from school on Friday and I drop them off to school on Monday. So that way we don't even got to see each other. We ain't got to get together and argue or none of that. You ain't got to see my face. You know what I'm saying? But after we went that first court date, I guess her lawyer told her, ma'am, you're not going to get that much from him because he with his kids or whatever.
He's with
So
him.
then she tried to make it seem like, okay, you get your kids for this one day. And I wasn't having that. And the thing is, man, she kept sending DCF to my house, like calling the police, all kind of crazy stuff, man. Like, and I'm like, dang, man. So, like I say, man, it ain't about like, you know, it ain't about like what damn, it ain't about like that all the time. Like most of the time, it just be like I feel like you know they be trying to get something out you because they mad. You feel what I'm saying? It's the bitter baby mama thing, and that's just in my
in some cases. In some
that's
not to
just in my
interrupt
case.
you.
That's what I'm about to say. That's just in my case.
Yeah.
It's not in everybody's case. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel like a
Right.
lot of times the women know that the system's set up for them to be able to gain like that, and that's the way they go about doing it because they know that's the only way she could hurt me by trying to keep my kids from me and stuff like that.
Right.
That's all
And
I wanted to say. But y'all have a good night, man.
Thank you
So
so much for joining me. Thank you.
Just to
Yeah.
end what I was saying, she knew my children were like my heart, and the only way to get to me was with my children.
Mm-hmm.
The first text message that I got when I got into my apartment, I laid on the floor. I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep. I left around 7. I didn't leave until my children about to go to bed. When I left, the first word, well, before I left, what came out of her mouth was, you're not gonna give the bill money. And I was like, I didn't say I wasn't gonna get a bill money. This is the day I left. It was the first of the month. You feel me? So what came out of her mouth was, so you're not gonna get a bill money. I'm like, I never said I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I went to the ATM. I came back. I put it in the mailbox. You feel me? $1,200. I put it in the mailbox. I said, it's in the mailbox. You know what I'm saying? Good night. I got home to my apartment. I laid on the floor. I didn't have a pillow. Didn't have a blanket. I just turned the power on. So I laid on the floor, and I got a text message. You will never see your kids unless you get a court order. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about this. Like, we already made it clear, like, this is what was going to happen. We waited till November, Thanksgiving. We waited till December, Christmas. First of the month, January, like, this is what we decided. This is it. You know what I'm saying? This is what everybody wanted, so this is where we at. Still going to be present. I'm not going to just ghost nobody. I'm 5 minutes down the road. And then her mom texts me. Her mom say, you can run, but you can't hide. And I'm just like, what the fuck did I do? You know what I'm saying? So it really blew me, and I cried. I cried all night. And that was by far the toughest night of my life. But from that moment, I was like, I had to think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I won't do this the negative way. I won't do it the angry way. So I got on my game. You know what I'm saying? I made sure I got promoted. I made sure I increased my salary. I changed my dependents to 9 because I'm like, you're not finna get me with child support. You know what I'm saying? And break me. So I did what I had to do to remain sane. I did what I had to do to keep my peace. The difference is a lot of men are not able to do that. And when you put them against their kids, when you don't let them get them, a lot of men will break, and a lot of men will break you for that very reason and lose their entire life to a prison because of that situation. And I could have spazzed out. I couldn't get my kids more than a day. I couldn't take them to go see my parents where we do, Memorial Days, Labor Day, 4th of July weekend. I couldn't get them in. It was, when you coming back? You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, they ain't got a toothbrush over there. Well, they don't got night clothes. I'm like, I got all this stuff. I went grocery shopping. I got food. I got water. I got heat. I got internet. You know what I'm saying? I got a TV. I got an Xbox. You feel me? I got an air mattress. Like, do you really think that they won't lay on that air mattress with me? And they did. You know what I'm saying? They did. And I put all
Kids
this out
sleep
there.
on the floor with you just to be
Exactly.
with
It
you.
didn't matter if I was in a cot. They would have still been, they called my home Movie Land. They were like, Mommy, can we go to Movie Land? She'd look at me, I look at her, and she'd be like, yeah. Because my kids were smart enough to know, like, Mommy, can we go to Daddy's house? They knew not to say it like that. They say, Mommy, can we go to Movie Land? And she'd be like, she couldn't say no in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So every gleamer of hope, I build on that. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, like I said, it took 4 years of communication, consistency from me. I don't miss appointments. I never missed a wellness visit. My son's 12. You know what I'm saying? 12 years of wellness visits to see him grow from nothing to almost 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? That's monumental for me. Soccer games, travel, even when we weren't speaking. Hey, what's up? I'm standing over here. She's standing over here. Even at soccer games, you feel me? Cheer competitions. Even though we wasn't speaking, I'm there. Hey, when you said it was 10-4, I'll be there at 6:30. We leave. We driving the same car at 10-4. We didn't have to talk. You know what I'm saying? It was difficult, but it took a lot of patience. It took a lot of restraint. And when I got my financial footing, and when I realized how to speak what's on my mind without being disrespectful, you either respect it or you don't. And that is where most men should sit. You either respect what I'm saying or you don't. You feel me? So now things are a lot better. You feel me? It's a lot more peace. It may not be 100% great. It ain't. You feel what I'm saying? But my children know that I'm here. My son is going to the 7th grade. My daughter's going to the 5th. Everything, thankful by God. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, this child support thing, like, we can talk about this. You feel me? And when I say I get my whole paycheck, that's because I put myself in a financial position to where, hey, take care of what needs to be taken care of. And I always showed up. And I'm not saying everybody got to do that.
Right.
I was able to do it and still have, $600, $1,200 left over. I was able to do that. I'm a hustler. It won't always be the case, you feel me? But I was able to do that. So I prided myself on being able to do that. And it just worked out for me. You feel me? But finally, I was off child support. I looked at my pay stub. I was like, oh shit, goddamn. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I worked for that. even though it should have been done a long time ago because I was present always, I still provided far more than what was required. You feel me? I'm talking about 13, 14, 1500 every month. You feel me? And I was only required to pay 348 every 2 weeks. You feel what I'm saying? But I give you 1500. You know what I'm saying? Every 2 weeks. You feel me? So for 4 years now, you feel me? So when you talk about the financial side and whether it's the money that motivates you or is it the time and support? I gave the time and support. I gave the support to her if she was sick. I was dating me Gatorade anything, and I gave the financial support. I gave all three, and I still was on the poor end of the stick. So for some people, it works out that way, man. For some, it's very unfortunate, and lack of communication will always be the demise. I tell my son, what happens when you don't communicate? His response is somebody will always be left in the dark. I said 10-4.
Right.
And when his mom look at me
Absolutely.
funny, or me and his mom, Mr. Mark, I say, son, what happens when you don't communicate? Somebody always be in the dark. So he understands the value of communication. And my daughter understands the value of communication. She reads emotions. So my daughter is 10, and you okay? She know I'm lying when I say, yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? My son is the same way, very nurturing, very observant. But I don't want to put my feelings. I never wanted to put my feelings on them. So when I left, I took away the emotional burden of daddy don't look good or he don't look happy. I took that away. And I wanted their mom to be on the same page. Don't put how you feel onto them. You should smile every day and then cry in your room.
Right.
You feel me? You shouldn't, don't put that on them. And that was what I was very, very big on. Even to this day, like, don't put your emotions off on my son. Cause you know, sons are mama's boys. Don't do that to him. Don't put him in a position to where he always, asks how you feeling, or he always wondering what you think about his outfit, because he's going to grow up to always be dependent on your opinion or a woman's opinion. Allow him to self-think, allow him to self-correct, allow him to be self-critical of himself and not think, well, my mommy not going to like my hair. You know what I mean? And that was our topic, but those are things that I've tried to to build, you feel me? And we are to where we are now, man. But that was my take. That whole lifestyle thing with the you ain't got the toothbrush and toothpaste. So I went and bought the stuff. Like, listen, I got the toothbrush. They got their own toothbrush. They ain't got their separate room. I'm like, I don't make the money you make. I can afford a 2-bedroom. I can't have 3 rooms and you know what I mean. So that was the only difference, man. But it took a while for her to come around. But I was sorry to rant.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
it took a while, man. It took a while. You're welcome.
So, Nana, what say you, darling?
Oh,
these are my last two, panelists. We got to go to work tomorrow. Tonight's a school night.
We do.
Right.
But I want to hear from you, and I want to hear from Keats, and then we're going to wrap it up.
First of all, there's been so many wisdoms of pearls that have been dropped this evening.
Yes.
And I commend everybody that would join this live. It's such an emotional subject. It's a sensitive one at that as well. And everybody is on, most people are on different paths. And it really comes down to choice. What is it that they say in the show? You got to be more careful.
Right.
It does matter who you choose to build a life with and have children with. I think some of us take that for granted. Right? Officer Bates, my God, we need to mold you. And some people
I tell people all the time, man, everybody doesn't have that mental fortitude. And there's been times I did break down. I cry in the car, I cry on my own, but I'm be better than my daddy.
It's about team emotions.
Yeah. Because, unlike most women, when I opted to depart from my marriage, I gave up child support. Not child support. I gave up alimony. And I didn't go to the courts.
Accept alimony.
Right. I didn't want the courts in my business. Because once you bring the state into your marriage, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't care which side of, man, no. Once the government Because that's what once the government gets involved in your personal relationship and you got children involved, it's a wrap. But the thing about it is that we went to mediation. I opted for mediation because I didn't want to be labeled as you coming after my money. That's what you know, because it was about the children. It's always been about the kids for me, you know. And I said, mm-mm. And it's funny, he's the one that took me to court. I didn't take him to court.
Right.
He took me to court. And I'm like, but I, you know, and I gave up the house. I gave up alimony. We settled on an amount that I thought was less than what I actually deserved. But I said, you know what? Because you are a present father in their lives, that's what's most important. So because I know how to work and I know how to hustle, just like you, Officer Bates, we can do this.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Cool. Because again, do what I know you can are capable of being a father to the because I can't do both. I can't be the mother and the father.
Right.
And you know what ended up, unfortunately, what ended up, and this does happen to some women. He took me back to court and put me in the rears and used COVID as a loophole.
Wow.
So, but did I allow that to make me bitter? No, I did not. Because I still managed through God and perseverance, y'all. Yes. I said no, because that's why I left you to begin with. There's a reason.
Right.
After 9 years, there's a reason. You feel me? And the thing about that, yes, because I was homeschooling, and then he said because part of the agreement was the money was given me was going towards childcare. So because there was no longer childcare, he wanted his money back. I said, bet. And the thing about it is that of all the transitions that we've been through, my kids will rather sleep with me on somebody's couch or whatever it may be than be in a 30 square foot house, because it's about the love.
Right.
When my kids are with me, they have my full undivided attention.
Right.
Happy.
It's not about money. It's not it's about love, like truly loving your children.
Right.
And so I want to impart on people, you know, for a man or a woman, focus on what is important is the child.
It is
Forget
the child.
about money, because what you gonna do? You're gonna get money and then you're gonna go pay that to some shrink to then sit there and talk to your children because you don't know how to communicate with your kids. You know what I'm saying? So, so money's not everything. Right. You know what I mean? Money was everything, I'd be sitting pretty right now. I would have gone for, and you know, I tell people I did a 19-year bid. So I could have gotten probably a lifetime of alimony on top of child support and the house and be like, you got to go. Because everyone looked at me like, oh, what's wrong with that woman? She crazy. You just going to give up the house? And I said, because that house, it wasn't, when I left it, it no longer became, it was a home. It was a house. It was a box.
Yeah. I gave mine up and sold the other one, and I didn't want the profit.
Absolutely. Brother Keats, you know, what say you?
Thank you. So sometimes it comes about choices. Choices, people. Be careful, you know, be mindful of your choices. The older you make smarter decisions. Take some extra time. Think about it. You know what I mean? And keep in mind.
Thank you, Bates.
The children always must be put first. Put the children first. They are innocent. They deserve for you that. Lord have mercy. They deserve to go first. Your needs no longer matter. It's about those children. If you say you love them, show them you love them.
Absolutely.
Learn to bury the hatchet and put your bitterness away. You might live longer, but that's in me. That's my spiel. Thank you. This
darling.
Was a great live.
Thank you, darling. Brother Keats, you're the last one to talk to us.
Okay. Well,
I don't have no kids, but I grew up in a home with with both parents. So
Okay.
what I just feel is that if the moment two people, because if you claim you love a child, I mean, y'all should be able to work stuff out. Because the moment y'all make a decision to separate means you've probably would, I don't know, what go home between two people mind, but you've probably checked it out and said, okay, now it can't work out no more. You that means you're not considering the kids feel it no more. So the moment you make that decision to split, you can't you can't expect things to remain the same. It's not about just being in a child's life, like I want to be with my kids this time, or on the weekend you get the kid, on this day you get the kid. Sometimes you don't need to do much. That feeling of the kid coming home and seeing the dad and mom watching TV, or that feeling alone, that you just come home and say, dad, mom, I got something to say, or dad, where's mom, she's in the room. That stuff alone is like a vitamin to a child. Coming home, seeing your parents in both home alone, you don't need to do much. you know so the moment you make a decision to split and live separately, I feel like you can't expect things to go the same way. It cannot be the same way. You got to make the child understand things cannot go the same way. So the child got to understand, because I don't know, some people want to jeopardize, especially when you have, like, for example, when you separate and your baby mama got another man. Now you want to be batching in, or you want to be in the kid's life, like you want to walk in and have dinner, or you asking the baby mama, let's take the kids out to go watch the games. It cannot work, because she got another man. So because no woman is going to accept it if the man goes out with the baby mama. So we got to be realistic sometimes, because I don't know, especially people that got different baby mamas. Like, I just moved into America like a year plus, so there's a lot of stuff. It's not like that in African though, in Nigeria where I come from. So from my mom always say, like, the moment y'all make that decision to split, that means you don't consider the child feelings no more. So things cannot be the same. So the child got to grow up and understand that this is what it is. Because
See.
yeah,
See.
we just got to
Thank
be
you
realistic.
so much. Thank you so much. This is your first time in my live, so I thank you so much for your input.
Yeah. Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
You have a good night.
You too. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's conversation was absolutely necessary. It was heated, so on point. Thank you, everyone who came into the live, who was a panelist. Thank you, everyone that's in the chat that gave comments. My closing remarks for tonight: child support. We all agree that the system is broken. A 40-year-old plus system designed for the times then. The system hasn't changed, but the times have absolutely changed. The takeaways that I got tonight from hearing all of the countless stories: the responsibility is on both parents. When you make a decision to sleep with someone and you produce an offspring, it's both of your responsibilities to take care of the child. Women and men who are custodial parents, do not weaponize the other parents. Don't exploit them for support that you don't need. As long as the child is provided for, that is the most important thing. God forbid something happens and you are 50-50 in this thing called parenting. Why even involve the child support system at that point? Because at the end of the day, as long as your child is being cared for, taken care of, when one parent has the child 1 week, all of the needs are being met when the child is with that parent. The next week, it's coming back to you. All of the child's needs are being met. Why involve the system? Why go after support when a parent specifically a father, because let's face it, the child support system is slightly skewed and biases moms because most of the time the sole custody lies with the mother. But does that give any custodial parent, specifically any mother that's a custodial parent, does that give her the right to exploit the father? Or can we get to a point where we can have a conversation and talk about what support looks like for the child? And support isn't just about finance. Support is about emotion. Support is about mental stimulation, being physically a part of the life of that child. So, yeah, I tackled this topic tonight on Conversations with Angel. I'm so glad that you gave me Wednesday night. Join me next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I take on the topic of modern versus traditional. Are you a modern woman? Are you a traditional woman? Are you a modern man? Are you a traditional man? Can you be both? Can you be a modern person with traditional values? We're going to talk about it next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the next Conversations with Angel. You all have a good night. Love you. Mean it.